Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Red Horde and Sean Horde. Sean Horde. Sean Driver is sound asleep in his bed. I'm presuming. I've hit him up a couple times, no answer. So it looks like you're starting with me, and so 1 second. I realized I had my speakers on. Hey, Martlin, Lake Lecco, how you doing? Will, Kim, W and G. Yes, did it go final yet? The Birmingham game. It did. They took the loss at Shrewsbury. Amazing. Would not have thunk that. Someone made a ton of money betting on the underdog there. Is Sean active today? That we will find out. I'm guessing he's asleep. He will wake up. Hey, Don, how are you? Aaron. All right, what are we looking at today? See if I can bring up. Sorry, just trying to move things around here, seeing what's going on at the stadium, what I can put on the screen and what I can't. When Sean's away, I dabble in the gray areas a little bit more. Did you see my Discord post? Let me check it out. Let me go. Oh, wow. Some nice pics here. Let's see if I can bring those up. Give me a second. Pre-game show. Yeah, let me transition to some of these. These are from W&G. Pictures from Exeter, although the game is at the Kairos today. These are pretty nice. I love stadium shots and stuff like that. Well, we'll get back to this one. See what else is going on here today. Get into the scoreboard for a moment here. Boy, that's daunting looking up at Wickham with 5 wins in their last 5. Hopefully Lincoln puts a dent in them today, gets that win so that they're not desperate for one when they come to Wrexham on Tuesday. So Birmingham we stay within 2 on Birmingham, so we could go ahead of them today and jump back into second, presuming we were to win. Right behind is Stockport, 1 point behind in 4th. Barnsley 2 points behind, tied with Lincoln and Bolton. We see Lincoln on Tuesday, which will obviously be an important game, followed by Mansfield, Huddersfield, and today's opponent, Exeter City. Yeah, looks to be an exciting day. Let's see who else is in the chat. Hey, David's in the chat. Behind bars coming in. It's getting his rec time, I guess, today behind bars. I don't know. Let me see. Let's look at the lineup. We might as well talk about that, right? So we're looking at Burton, obviously. I mean, Okonkwo's still out with a broken hand. Lewis Brunt in. I mean, I guess you got to give him a shot, right? Like, you got to let him come in at some point. I just wonder who they're running in O'Connor's spot then. I mean, I know O'Connor needs a break. Is it Brunt over on that side? Are you taking Max out of his spot? I don't know. Max in, Scar on the bench, and O'Connell getting a run. Not too surprising considering that we have a game Tuesday, so maybe trying to keep some people fresh, rotate some people. So, yeah, I get it. Barnett and McLean in. I mean, those wing backs are pretty locked in right now. You got your captain who plays extremely hard, so he's hard to take out. And Barnett is, maybe we say, the only truly effective offensive player on the team. So if he's not in, what do you have at that point? So until they get going, you really can't afford to take Barnett out. Dobson, great seeing him in. Obviously, Rathbone, who I think's been coming on. I don't know about you guys, but I've been a little harsh on him. I think it took him quite a while to kind of get into it. But he was definitely more effective, I feel, last week and the last couple of games. And then I think a lot of us are happy to see Matty James in the small amount of time that he's been in. He's looked very good. So hopefully he'll help us connect through the middle so that we're not one-dimensional and we're just relying on Barney the whole time, right? So hopefully Matty James can help get that ball moving forward. And then the really interesting part, Palmer and Lee up front. Was not expecting that. And I think Kim said it in the chat earlier, that this is Parky's lineup to basically tell you, hey, I'm not happy with you strikers. You're getting opportunities. You're not doing anything with it. If you're not going to be scoring, I'm not playing any of you. I don't care. That's what this feels like. I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Hey, Deandra, how are you? Yeah, Parkinson changed the lineup. Yeah, who knows what this formation is going to be, right? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, once Palmer's in, you're kind of locked into that two with the target man and then the sniper. But yeah, I can't imagine that they're going to be bringing anybody else up front, right? I mean, this isn't the lineup. You'd want the forwards in. You got 3 of them on the bench. So yeah, I think it's just our standard 3-5-2 is what I would figure here. And I was also saying earlier in the chat, I'm not sure that Lee doesn't belong in the doghouse with the other with the strikers. He hasn't shown a ton either. Maybe this is his opportunity. Maybe they're like, okay, maybe if we push Lee forward and then he, it'll help him get in that mindset of get the ball, turn and score. Because right now, all I see is, for the most part, is him going laterally and not looking to blast away and not looking to score. Maybe this is Parkinson's way of hopefully kickstarting Lee. And then if Lee can get going, maybe others can get going. Then they can shift them back. And with Lee looking to score, changes the defense and gets Mullen or someone else open more. I got to tell you, I'm really looking for them to get a pair of strikers in early. I don't want them waiting to the classic 65th or 70th minute. Lee need Mullins off the field to score more, Will is saying. He retracted his message. The entire left side is creating any offense, Lee included. Yeah, there's not much coming from that side. The only difference is I haven't seen a ton of explosiveness when Revan's in, right? Like, he's had a few opportunities, not a consistent amount, I understand. So maybe it's not fair. But in the small showing that Revan has been in, he hasn't wowed me lately, right? And if anything, he's scared me on the defensive end. I do wonder, it looks like to me when I watch the games that McLean is sitting way back defensively, and he's constantly rotating back in, and O'Connor is moving forward with the ball, which I'm cool with. I like when you have a back who can carry it out a little bit so that it's not hoof ball, so that the pass can stay on the carpet, that it can be more controlled. So I like it when the defense isn't ready and one of our center backs brings the ball up and really gets them kind of scrambling. So McLean has been kind of rotating back so that they can do that. Sorry for coughing in the mic. And I never see him shooting forward. They're not leading him. He's not breaking wide down the left. And I just don't know how much that's just his decision or the team's decision to kind of focus Barney to tip the table towards Barnett's side, because they seem to force it out to him quite a bit. When they could potentially make a move right down the middle, they're like, no, we got to get it out to Barney, let him slice it in, and then send everyone at the net. They definitely obviously feel comfortable doing that, and they want to do that. And if he's playing like your best player, I understand. Get the ball to the guy, right? He makes things happen. I just think you obviously could stand some balance and get that left side more involved, as well as the middle, right? What else do we have? Yes, Deandra, I believe Sean is sleeping while his alarm is going off, or maybe he shut it off today accidentally. Who knows? What else do we got? Well, the fix isn't this lineup. But yeah, I agree with you. This is the kick him in the ass lineup. This isn't the ideal lineup, I would say. I would have a hard time believing that. I mean, not that Lee can't do it, and not that when Mullen was out and he was the striker, they had to move him up, that he wasn't effective, because he was. So maybe that's it. Again, like, maybe this is less about punishing the strikers and more about trying to wake Lee up, who definitely needs it. Maybe he just doesn't do well with the benching and the trying to be embarrassed. Hello, Murdoch. How are you? What do we have? We have 15 minutes to go live. Is that what we're looking at? Whoops, wrong one. So I saw, yeah, you can see the little snow on the edges there, here and there. It's obviously still raining. We've been getting fairly nasty weather in Wales today. Yeah, hopefully they'll do something about that. So if I have the feed up, obviously, that I'm not supposed to be doing, I guess. But you can see they have more camera angles. I really think the production value is so low on the games that they just stay with that midfield camera. I would love to see multiple angles. I'd like to see them cutting around to different views. They essentially seem to have midfield watching the majority of the pitch, say half to 3/4 of the pitch, and the close-ups of the bench. Other than that, you barely see anything else. The camera barely pans right and left. I just think they could stand to zoom in more often and have angles like this, have more shots of the crowd. Yeah. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I just think this is an interesting perspective. We don't get to see what will be the cop. Right now they have the fourth wall stand showing. I think that there should be more camera work on the tech end. Those are our most rowdy fans. They're the diehards. They deserve it. Give them some screen time. Get everyone pumped up. I'd like to get the speakers going too, right? Where they kind of amplify the chants, at least from the tech end. Hey there, Giselle. Good morning. Tug, nice to see you. Yes, I am trying to balance everything today, so I will do my best. Hopefully you guys can fill in the chat and help me out here. What else we got going on? Oh. Since I have a little bit of time and the game has not started, I will bring this up. Hold on one second. So some of you may know what this is. Some of you may not. This is my membership that I received in the mail a couple of weeks ago. I was just looking for an opportunity to show you guys. When you open it up, there's a little sleeve. Let me take a couple of these things out. So there's a Wrexham AFC. Again, some of you may be members, so you have this. Inside, they have, imagine this, they have stickers. You got Mullen, McLean blowing kisses. You got Cannon. And then you have a nice little holder for your card, little wallet size holder. And we take the card out. It's in there really good. There's the card. Nice card. I'm guessing that this is what you'd swipe at if you had the season tickets. This would be good enough for you. I don't know if they asked to scan the game per game tickets, or you get to go with the card. But this is the membership anyway. I'm guessing that you could scan this if you were at the pro shop. But again, stickers, this other stuff came in a nice little setup here. Bunch of good stuff about Wrexham AFC. It's a little way to support the club. And if you wanted to get tickets and everything, you had an opportunity to. I was going to try to go over earlier in the year during like the Huddersfield game and when they played in London too during the week. And I was going to try to get in at that time. Was that late October-ish? But I ended up getting too busy. So hopefully I will be going over this spring sometime before the season's over. And yeah, Sean may be going over with his family at some point too. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe we go at the same time and then we do a remote show or something like that. Who knows? Figure it all out. Let me see. What else can I bring up before we go live? Again, I'll bring up the table for you guys. We are looking at 4 points outside of first. So obviously we're not jumping into first, but jumping into second is a possibility. I think it's been said, if you looked at our schedule, and I think Rob Ryan Rudd was saying it, like, what do we got? 7 out of the next 9 games are at home. You would have thought that these are all going to be the easy games, except a lot of these teams have done fairly well as some of the favorites have dropped off. So we are going to be facing, some teams up in the front. We are playing Exeter, who's now in 10th, Lincoln on Tuesday, who's in 6th, Barnsley, who's in 5th. Barnsley, I believe, is the away game. Then it seems to get a little easier after that. Because then, again, we still have a slew of home games, but a lot of the teams are towards the middle and bottom part. I can hear noise in the background. You will all be excited. It's not Santa Claus. I think it's Sean Driver. They both have an outstanding beard, so I get them confused sometimes with Christmas coming up. Yes, Sean Driver is in the house. He's moving around in the background. Let me get all of that set up here. See if I can get Sean in before we go live. I can hear you, Sean, and I think everyone else can too. Let me transition you in.
Oh, well, I'm not set up, but go ahead and you jump me in.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I muted myself to cough and I didn't unmute myself. Thanks for calling that out, Kim. Yeah, not much going on at the moment. The teams are about ready to come out. Yeah, I've cut both of you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brian. Thanks for calling it out. You guys need to stay on top of me. These the late coming in, I have to do so many things in the background to get the feed going and switching scenes and all sorts of other stuff. Occasionally hit the wrong button, which is what I did. Um, yeah, so we're about, I don't know, 8 minutes to start here. I guess we're going to, when Sean gets all locked and loaded, we're going to kind of get his feedback, see what he thinks about the lineup changes and what his expectations are. If you guys are unaware, hey, Raymond, how are you? And Steven, Don again, and Dave, and Mr. Humphreys, nice to see you. We watched Lincoln and Exeter last week and quite unimpressed. They did a ton of flopping. They have an Irishman on defense, I believe, defense wing. Sweeney, he is all about the shithousery. He is going to play every game, every little bump. If you go within 5 inches of him, he's diving on the ground trying to get a call. He's very animated, very angry. Their team is supposed to be running a 3-5-2, but they quickly morph into 4 up front. They quickly, when they transition, they immediately go with 4 attacking and 4 behind. They come with everybody when they start getting forward. If your defense isn't ready, I can see that that's going to throw you off. If you're manning guys up and then all of a sudden they're bringing more than you'd expect, and the midfielders aren't on it. But I would expect that obviously we will see this coming. Hey, Charles, how you doing? So I don't think we'll get fooled by it, but I am looking for it. I did find that it seemed to get Lincoln on their back foot last week. Hey, David, that's awesome. Thanks, man. It only kind of stunned Lincoln for the first 15 minutes of the game. Then Lincoln settled in and proved to be the better team, I think. At least that's my opinion. Again, when Sean's ready, we'll get his opinion on it. Still got about 6 minutes till the game starts. It's always the Irishman with the tomfoolery. Yeah, exactly. Someone and I believe so. I believe Sweeney plays the right side in the back for them, and I think you'll be seeing he and McLean banging heads quite a lot. And again, as you remember, Cannon is now out and he's not on the bench because he has to serve his, he was put in detention for his too many yellows. And so McLean and Dobson are also 1 yellow away from getting their suspension. So both of those guys are in today, and McLean will be, messing with, like I said, a guy that wants to mix it up on Exeter in Sweeney. So something to watch for there. It's an Irish massacre or massive. All right, Sean is about ready. Are you ready, Sean, for me to bring you in? Just lost him. I'm going to show you the crowd while Sean's back again. Camera went in for a second. Let me know when you're ready to talk, Sean. I have you on the screen, but not.
I don't know what.
Okay, Sean is in. You are live, Sean. How are you doing today?
Go again.
You are live, Sean. Sean is struggling back there. His setup looks good, though.
Try. I think that might have fixed it. Go again.
We are here. The Red Horde is waiting for you with anticipation, Sean.
Yeah, and I can't get you on my headset. This is stupid. I literally had it working yesterday.
Because that snow right there certainly looks like it. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, we'll have to jump in and you'll have to text me stuff. Okay, I'm watching you to cue me in.
Yeah, you are in.
I am in. All right, well, sorry about that. We got tech glitches everywhere, and that's the byproduct of me falling asleep, and I guess it's not fixed. I thought everything was okay. I'm well rested. I'm ready to go, but we're not. But we're here, and it's right before kickoff on a not snowy day. I was wondering if this was going to be a little bit of snowball. As to the changes, you've already gone over with Brendan. I owe Brendan like about 3 cases of beer, I think, at this point in time. So jumping in and filling in when I've continue to think that I can do more than I can. In any event, the lineup is different, and I'm going to tell you right off the top, I'm not a fan, and I'll tell you why. Is I am a fan of changes when you have to. I don't like wholesale changes. This competition, to me, more so than last year, more so than the National League, is the team that is the most consistent, is the one that will hold out. And what you're looking to do is to minimize the lows and hold on to the highs. And we're in the position where we may be on a bit of a low. It's been a while. We've had a couple of struggles, but to me, you don't wrap the panic button unless there's a bunch of injuries. And I don't know, is Mullen really out of it? And he's got some other niggling injury. But to go with Lee up front, who, yes, granted, Lee has. Is it 5 goals, which surprised me? It hasn't been. It all mostly came early in the season. You went out and you've got strikers. Bodferson, Lee just hasn't been on for me, and so I don't like taking him out of position to fill things up. Do I have Dobson in the middle, Rathbone on the James in the back line? That's fine. McLean Barn, that's fine. You want to bring in somebody to change things up in the back line a little bit, sure, but you've put a new body in 2 of the positions. I don't know if Scar's hurt. I don't know if TOC is banged up. I don't think they've done anything to jeopardize a change. Look, if you haven't been listening to the podcast and you haven't been watching any of the Who Are You series, these are 2 teams that have limited offense at the moment, but they're all about the defense. Best defensive team and the second best defensive team in all of League One. Get into a 1-0 battle and have a swing. I look at their back line now, having seen them, Krama, Purington, Sweeney, and Sweeney, the shithousery certainly applies, as Brendan was talking about, and compare them to having Brunt on the left-hand side, who's solid, but I'm not sure is quite there. Not at the same level. It's not the same level. And so that makes me nervous. Krama is exceptional. One of the best I've seen. First read, maybe even better than Flint, which Brendan in the background is probably going to go, holy cow, that's a jump. The thing with Exeter, their front line is atrocious. Woods, who is suspended, I wish he was playing, because he's almost like having an extra player playing for you. He was that bad in that game, missed every opportunity that came forward. I've got the game up on here. I'll call it in. I'm going to try to find a way to fix this, as it was working before, and I know it's not an output issue, and see if I can actually get Brendan. So I'll just keep doing this while we play along. So Exeter City sitting in their blacks, and I think I might actually have you in the background, Brendan. I can hear rumbling.
That's my stomach.
Perfect. So I do have it going. Stephen Martin, the referee, very experienced. Our favorite referee of all time, Brendan, if you didn't watch the Who Are You, Mr. Parsons, is the 4th official. And from what we've seen from Mr. Parsons in the last match involving Exeter City and Lincoln City, he's a man who likes to get involved. So if there's stuff going on, who knows? Oh, man, I don't like this deal. We've got the 2 best goalkeepers in the league going at it. We had the best 2 back lines in the league going at it. Now we've got the best back line versus a modified back line. And a midfield that has never played together since Matty James is in there, and 2 strikers who haven't played together since, last year, I think, during the injury time at the start of the season. We're underweight. We'll see how it goes. I expect a low-scoring affair. I especially expect a low-scoring affair now. And this down the, there we go. My connection went a little bit weak to start. Here we go. Rathbone with it, gets it back and back. Poor pass back. He was fouled. Nothing given. This official is happy to give out fouls, not happy to give out cards. He lets that one go early, and it's a there you go. Brunt proving his worth. And I hope the back line shuts me up. I'm going to bring the chat up so I can see what everybody else thinks of my little tirade there. Things you guys can do to help us out. That live button is down below. Subscribe button. If you're over watching us and you're connected on X or on Twitter, jump on or X, Twitter, or Twitch. Jump on over to YouTube so you can join in the chat and do that. Brunt, 2 stops early. That one being tossed in and then easily deflected away it's looking too Stockport Ash. Mind you, the first 5 minutes, maybe we're doing the inverse. The first 5 minutes we got controlled. And man, that fan center, look at this cop where the more expensive fan center tickets are in the middle of the cop. It is vacant. Haven't seen that before. Left-footed in-swinger. Doyle not taking it. Doyle, fascinating. If you didn't watch the Who Are You series, he is there. Him and McGinnis are expected to be the goal scorers. Doyle leads the league with 3. He's at 19. He's on loan, left-footed in-swinger. Far post, well-placed, but EOC able to knock that away. Yeah, I thought it deflected off of us, but he played for McGinnis and Doyle played for England. Well, played internationally on the last match, I believe. I know Doyle did for sure. I think McGinnis, I heard it on a podcast that he did. Doyle with the England U20 team that scored a 4-0 win against Germany. He's supposed to be the guy. He's only got 3 goals, but he is their leading scorer, and set pieces are supposed to be a specialty. It goes short to Watts. So they're the people to watch for us to see if they bring something different. So far, the ball just seems to find him. The header goes out wide and to the right, and he grabs it, but Barney grabs it and goes the other way. The new contract man, signed in 2027. Through Rathbone. Rathbone held it up, and 3-4 guys go running past him, and he gets it back to, and there we go. James, EOC, switch on to Brunt. Brunt over on the left-hand side. McLean looking to dance. He's moving towards 18-yard box, kicks it out to Dobson, over to Lee. If Lee's a striker, why is he so far out wide? But he crossover far post, misses 2 heads. Opportunities, and then Brunt, that's got to be a handball. How does that ball not go down? Just the angle. You know how you watch a ball when it goes through the area and you're like, how can that be anything but an arm? And maybe that's why the shout was there. Anyway, corner earned, going to be a right footer by Lee on the left-hand side. 13 degrees. That's balmy. I'm upset that there's so many jackets being worn then. And hi, Gail. Nice to see you. Headed towards goal. Knocked down. Rubs off of an arm. Just barely bumps into McMillan. Comes loose and goes the other way. And
yellow right away. He's booking him. Nuts.
Rathbone getting the card.
That was Lee, wasn't it? No, it was Rathbone?
No, it's Rathbone. I'd like to see a replay. I want to see both the deflection that went out for the original corner, and I want to be able to see. Well, I got to see this because I was looking over here trying to read the chat. Interesting, because so far the inverse of what you'd expect from Mr. Martin True in the first 4 minutes. He's usually a man who likes to make the penalty call or make the foul calls, but doesn't like giving out the cards. And here he's giving out the no fouls when I thought there could have been some, and giving out a yellow card when at least Brendan's a little bit suspect. Matty James, nice pass to Rathbone. Oh, tried to get it to James McLean.
That was an awful pass, dude.
It was.
I'd be better than that.
It was a bad pass coming to the left. I assume that you're live, yes?
Yeah, look at us coming through the middle. I mean, this is great.
So far, and it's early, but I'm hoping long may it continue, I suppose. Lead with in the middle. I love everything on the floor, to be fair. James McLean, 18 yards out, moving over to the left-hand side, taking on his man. Sweeney, knocked out, going to go out for a corner. It is thrown.
Yeah. We don't have O'Connor to take corners, so we're stuck with Lee, which is just
And that wasn't Sweeney. That was Niskanen. I was like, Sweeney got pulled out quite a bit wide. It was Sweeney who knocked it out for the corner. Right footer, Lee. Still don't like him. Why is he taking corners?
Hate him doing it. What do we get? Like 1 out of 5 decent.
See, that's beautiful. Don't like him. He gets the ball back just inside the 18-yard backs, right 18-yard backs. I sound like I'm from Massachusetts. A box. Gets towards the goal line, draws a pass back to EOC, and EOC drills it and it hits the goalkeeper and it goes out. Whitworth proven his worth. Odd mid-pace, gone wide, another corner. This is just pressure. Sweeney getting called upon there. And Deandre's agreeing with you with your assessment of Sweeney. Another corner, fourth one early, looking far post this time, headed, score!
Hell yeah!
Woo! Max Kluworth, future captain Kluworth, because he's not wearing the armband today, comes in and gets one. Is if at first you don't succeed, try again. 4 corners in the match, 3 in a row right there, and Kim, the man, the myth, the legend, the man, the machine.
I want to try one thing here, Sean. 1 second.
Yeah, do your thing. Max Kluworth comes in. That was right to the middle of the net. Or hear the music. I'm just going to look really awkward. The best striker on the Wrexham squad. Now we're second place. Max the Beast. Hey, it's a good start to the day. 7 minutes in. Max Kluworth, a beauty header off of Lee. Whitworth, no thing he can do there. And let's hope that Exeter's struggles up front continue. And let's just look to add on. Don't get greedy early. As McLean steps into a pass from Sweeney. That was a brutal pass. Brendan would have disowned Sweeney if that would have come from.
He's easy to spot. He's that big bald spot running around.
Yeah. It's the sunshine.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance. I'm this Krama kid, number 4. Haven't had a chance to watch him, but in this one so far. But I want to see if he lives up to the billing. In the second one now. We shall see. A little bit of possession. McGinnis gets it out, and it's going to be Aitchison. Niskanen, end of the 18-yard box. Aitchison again, Niskanen. We haven't seen those two players. So the midfield almost all completely changed for them just off the top of my... trouble! Well done by Rathbone, getting stepping right in front of the opportunity offered there by McMillan, who hammered it and drilled it out, and it goes wide. Left-hand side now. Doyle. Sent it to the moon. Doyle got it to Watts, and Watt was one of the ones that was poor-ish. Especially, you know what? The whole midfield and front line for Exeter City was just garbage in the last one. It's different now. At least, or they're appearing different. Niskanen, I don't think, played last time. Doyle obviously was away. And McGinnis, I'm confident we're gone.
Hey, Sean, what do you got for time? You got 9 minutes yet?
Oh, yeah. I'm just 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Sam, yeah, I moved in. I'm adjusting to things here. Still unpacking, still running around. I was on an hour-long drive to pick up some stuff yesterday, but right before I went down, I was like, I can do that and still make it to bed and wake up in time. And if you're just joining, I didn't do that. Brendan had to carry the entire pregame show. W&G there with the scores and the highlights coming in. Reading up on Peterborough 1-0 as we're watching the center back kickabout. Exeter.
Birmingham lost to Shrewsbury earlier, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
3-2. Bolton over Blackpool.
Yeah.
And Stevenage tied Leyton Orient. That's glorious. But that's what I was saying before this match and being critical, and so far Park has shut me up, is there are going to be lulls in the season, whether by injury or by form. And the teams that move up. Like you look at Charlton last year, they maybe are the team that didn't. They went a run with no losses and then a run with no wins and then a run with no losses. But if you can manage those lows better than anybody else, that's the team, that the consistent team is going to be the one that moves forward. And I would have liked to have seen things to be a little bit steadier in this one at the start of the game, but so far a 1-0 result, proof's in the pudding. The Parky knows more about football than this guy.
We have
Cramo with it.
possession.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say 41% on the possession.
Clueworth cleans up a little bit of a junk forward. See, and this is what we had with Exeter, is just no real flow. And that was Cramo moves it forward, gets it up to the midfielder, and the midfielder just basically gives it away to Clueworth, and Clueworth grabs it and resets up. So now we've got possession of the ball. And it was interesting. Lincoln City, I suggest, plays a very similar style to us. Counter-attack, love to get on the chase, aggressive, foot forward. We're not doing that right now. We're through the floor and we're taking our time. No hoofball as Brunt just basically goes on a 70-yard run. Call him Carl Lewis as he goes all the way into the box before he drops it off to Palmer. Left, and it's over to Barney. Barney in the area. Still dancing. He can't get it. Take it away. Whoo, baby. Huddersfield 1-0 up on Charlton. But yeah, have to love him today, don't you? Exeter City with control, snaps it up. McMillan has it, looking to get forward, and yeah, too much oomph on that one, and it couldn't get chased down by Niskanen, who Niskanen and Francis they seem to switch sides quite frequently. He's got to be getting close. And I just realized I didn't lock my office door, so if I get a munchkin who comes in, as the house begins to stir, Crama to Purinton. And it's interesting to see, and I'd be interested if anybody plays goalkeeper, Whitworth being a man who he's only like 5'9", 5'10", and not your typical goalkeeper that you get anymore. Is there still a role for a player like that who can play as effective as he can? I mean, if it's only stats that matter, 82.5% save percentage before coming into this one, and he's looked solid. Just interesting. But yes, Dave, I would welcome that. Subscribe. It's a great channel and a great family. And I was having fun. I did the Who Are You series. YouTube obviously throttling me a little bit because it's been a while since I put out midweek videos, but that's fine. So if you get a chance, the like button is extra helpful as we take control, and our first hoof down the middle of the pitch is easily collected by Crama, and I don't like that. Don't give these guys possession. I anticipate the center back kickabout. Purinton, Crama. Sweeney advances it forward. McGinnis was able to keep it. Niskanen in a nice little challenge there, just drilled out by McLean, and he kind of walks over talk and says to Niskanen, get up and get out. Oh, we got the throw in from that. That's why Niskanen was shocked, and McLean was doing a little bit of shithousery on himself. Interesting. I don't know how that was a throw in for us, but I will take it early. Hey, Jeannie, how are you? And it is congested in points, but as long as we're collecting them, then life is okay, right? Watching that Wickham game where are they running? Whoa. Dobson, not a good pass on that one. Took too long getting it out wide, so killed things. Barney's going to have to stop it as we had maybe an opportunity to counterattack. But anyway, it's Matty James, the outlaw. I love the fact that they've given like a North American nickname to Matty James, or he's had one for a while, the Outlaw, because it does sound like an old Western. Let's switch on. Palmer flicked on to McLean. I didn't get it far enough over. You know what he was thinking, but he played it too far to the right. He needed a 45-degree angle, and he gave him an 80. Barney instead with it, looking to serve it up from outside the area, and he's pushed off. Well done defensively by Watts on that one. Putting the pressure on. Hey, Tom Coffee. Welcome. That's a new name for me. If I don't remember you and you've been here before, that's my mistake. But welcome in any event as it goes forward. Like button down there. You can go over to X if you're interested and hit the like button. And while we've got a break as Whitworth grabs that and plays it, I want to make the plug. All of these brought to you ad-free thanks to Ultimate Promotions, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. They make pins, they make medals, they make badges. 48 years of service, free artwork, free shipping. So contact them, reach out if you've got a competition that you want to take part in. Ultimate Promotions has your answer. We're back underway. And my mom said she was going to download this one and watch it. So I'll do a shout out there and look for her nickname if it comes up on the thing. Cloworth with it, back of the line to Matty James and him just playing catch with the ball before it's pushed out to Dobson over on the right-hand side. He's going to look for Palmer and McLean frustrated, Palmer frustrated.
You see O'Connell come up right there? I really like that, closing off their opportunities.
Closing off in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Always a little bit risky, right? Whenever you have your defenseman and center back step forward, is if he's right, he's bang on, it's brilliant. And if he's wrong, there is a gaping hole behind you.
O'Connell lets a guy get the ball and then run at him, he's dead. He's got to stop it before it gets to the guy, right?
My mama's here. So hi, Mom. Downloading the game. See, this is the Wrexham way. Is you end up finding. I haven't chatted sports with my mother in my entire life, but we do. And so she was excited for this one. Long time since it's been in the race course in a game that mattered. Put that in your eye, Brady.
Aaron asking for the polite 2-0. Aaron, let's be bold. Let's pile it on. Let's get a nice 3-0 thumping. Get some momentum.
Yeah, I'm greedy today.
Yeah.
Don't have my coffee, so I'm still a little bit jittery. 17 minutes, 18 seconds, coming up to 20. There it is on the clock as we've got the ball with a little bit of kickabout.
Pitch is in great shape, all things considered, how much rain they've been getting and snow. So.
Absolutely, snow, and both teams not able to practice. So I thought coming out, it's
rusty, sloppy pitch. But
if I'm a player now, instead of running back and forth and up and down the pitch all week long, I'd just say to Parquet, "Don't worry about us. We can treat this like Sunday League." No.
Hey, nothing compares to what the women were playing in last weekend. Deandra and I were having a great time watching the Mud Bowl. So,
if you didn't know, McLean can do an Argentine tango as he just does it down the line and a great ball forward up to the one guy that we don't want to be chasing down the ball for an offensive opportunity of the starting 11. I love the man, and he's going to score some absolute cracker that we're going to just end up being in hysterics about. But Dobson is an absolute defensive god, but the man cannot do anything offensively. And his passing is suspect as well. Whoa, McLean had to get on his horses. McGinnis gets it. Oh, that's Niskanen, sorry, right-hand side. You can see, McLean. Niskanen danced to the right, to the left, got the left foot on it, and McLean dives in front of him and takes out a one away.
Great defense there, man. Wow.
Yeah, I got to give it to the old man. And we were just talking about not wanting to run up and down the pitch. Well, there's a man that does it more than anybody else, and he proved its worth in that moment. You did see there was water coming up on the pitch just in that area. That's the only place I've seen it. Was right where Niskanen was. Fortuitous, but a puddle in that box on the right-hand side. Sweeney with it, collects, advances it forward. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Stuck the leg in there a little bit. Rathbone did, and a little bit dangerous to do that. And Doyle goes down and takes... And a foul is given 48 yards away. Crawley up on Rotherham. What is somebody do a postseason autopsy on Rotherham? Because they're dead.
Well, the worst thing that could have happened to them is you touted them as probably being the best in the league other than Birmingham.
Fair enough. I had them
and early, before the season.
Before the season, I had them in the automatic spots, and here I am.
The Sean kiss of death.
Yes, no kidding. Rathbone with it, moving forward. Over to the right-hand side. Clueworth, Barney up on the right-hand side. Still 18-yard box. Looking across it. Far post. Yeah, it must have deflected and gone out for a corner because Barney doesn't deliver those. And I couldn't pick up the angle. So we'll get a corner on the right-hand side. No TOC on the pitch. So interesting. James McLean taking the in-swingers from the right side. Lee on the left. McLean. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw McLean step up and take a corner.
He's not going to do worse than Lee, so I'm good with it.
He's not going to be worse than Lee. Going out for another corner. Banged off a defender. I wouldn't say that was the greatest entry, not the most threatening. It was flat and it was too close. So it was able for Whitworth to be able to get access to it. I'll take that pace, but it's got to be further away from goal. That one's a better one. Far post! Scores! Offside. Offside. I knew it. We've seen this. And is Lee giving it to the referee or to Rathbone?
Oh, Rathbone. It's all Rathbone. He never had to touch it.
Oh, it was a foul.
No, Rathbone was offsides.
No, they're saying maybe it was a foul.
Rathbone stuck his foot out and tapped it in.
They're talking on the documentary to find out whether they're giving it for. They've taken it away anyway. It was a brilliant entry by McLean, and they've pushed it all the way far post, and McLean gets up and heads it, or not McLean. Lee gets up and heads it down, and it's 95% chance it was going in, but it was added on by Rathbone, and I immediately thought it was offside because he was standing directly in front of Whitworth, and the only question is, did Purinton keep him onside? I'm not convinced that he did. I still think it was offside, but I think the call is that there was a foul for the push off by Lee and freeing himself up. I don't think.
Oh, you think they called the push off? Okay.
I think they're calling that push off right there, and I don't think that's a foul. I think the goal should be disallowed because of the offside, but I think he made it the foul, and I don't think the foul was the right call.
Yeah. By the way, great, like you called it, great service by McLean. Far better than what Lee's giving us. So
yes, the first one was, had to get the rust out. It was, I like the pace on those flat balls, and I don't have a problem with them going near post to find the bodies in the middle, but it was too close to the net, so it missed everybody in the middle, and it was easily dealt with. We had an injury in any event. Aitchison went down, and so he's stepped off the pitch. 23 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock, and Whitworth looks to get us underway. Still a 1-0 game. And I don't know. You let me know in the chat. Was that? Well, let's bring up a poll. Was that a goal? Was it offside? Or was there a foul?
So Mike Jameson just joined, and he's wondering what the heck's up with the lineup. Yeah, we're not sure, Mike. We thought it might be Parky trying to send a message to the forwards to get that they will not be in the game if they're not productive. So we're guessing that, and we're guessing that since they're playing on Tuesday as well, that they refreshed the side. That's why Brent's in there, and O'Connell and James. So.
Niskanen with it on the right-hand side. I don't remember him in the last game against Lincoln City. Might have to go back and have a look and see if he was playing, but I've been calling out his name a lot this game, and I didn't mention his name at all in the first. As Brett gets to it, and it boxes everybody out as Niskanen pushes it too far, and it goes out for a goal kick. This is what we saw from Lincoln City, is they're able to come forward. They're able to bend and not break, although they've broken once here. But when they come forward, they just don't connect. Like they get it down the pitch, huzzah, but just very few threats and frequently giving the ball away, and they just lost one there. And here we come again. Lee finds Dobson, pass over to Barney, right-hand side, 4 red jerseys forward. Paul Merritt scores! Oh, my goodness! Woo! We are playing FA on easy mode with Barney on the wing, serving that up to Palmer, and Palmer, easy as, just heads it in, and there's not a damn thing Whitworth can do about it. Are you kidding me? Like, if you were to draw it up in a cartoon and make it a movie and say, we're going to have a break opportunity and a 4-on-4, we're going to have a winger from the far right against the line deliver up a beauty past Watts up over to Palmer, and Palmer's holy. Palmer saying, thanks for the faith from Parky. Barney says, sign me a contract. I'll give you the goods. And we are up 2-0, 26 minutes in. And here comes the answer from Exeter. Niskanen pushing it forward too far again. See, and part of that was solid defense. Framed him out, not enough to get a foul, but enough to be able to ensure that we get the clearance. And Brunt goes ahead and does that with aid from McLean in defense. That was a little bit soft, Lee, trying to draw that. There'll be a flop, good Jeff, dancing around my head off of that one as Lee tries to force contact and get that one out. We're going to go back to the poll. My word. Everybody's Palmer, wait, I can score. Yes, John, exactly. Sweeney on the run. He's going to go 30, 40 yards, and then he's going to have to go back and get the oxygen. Niskanen far post. I shouldn't insult the man. Captain of their squad, long experience as a center back. He's still a solid defensive player. I suspect, and I haven't watched him before, but you just look at him in his frame, you know he was a center back in the middle of the three. And then
so David Foster was commenting on Fountain of Youth for Ollie Palmer. I would say this, but besides the service being absolutely perfect, where he didn't even have to head it, he just had to keep running, and it would bang off of him and into the goal. You rarely see him running forward. He seems to take a break sometimes offensively and not push forward and kind of expect to get the service further back towards the midfield and then push it forward from him. So seeing him, streak towards the goal where Barney could hit him was fantastic.
Sorry, I lost some of that in the audio. I agreed with the first part of the sentence, and then I missed the remainder of it because it went bitty in my ears. But that's a me problem, not a you problem. I've got some questions here. Just to bring it back to the game, Brunt with it, midfield. We're playing a little bit of center back kickabout. First time I could consider the Jeopardy theme song is Matty James with a brilliant switch out to Barney. One of those passes we criticized in the last game, saying be a little more patient. He delivers perfectly over to Barney, and they played it backwards. Just to go through how much longer before Merritt returns, we're looking end of February at the earliest, is what I've heard. We had a comment of the match from Dave Foster that I missed.
Yeah, Fountain of Youth relating to
Fountain of Youth discovered by Ollie Palmer. We had another question with Wemo's late start to the morning, no Mullen. Lots of changes up front, and there's Doyle doing exactly what Exeter does. The Grecians, all bark, no bite. They don't even get close to the 18-yard box. Like, they just get up and they give away possession. They get up and they give away possession, and that's just what they do. And this is now the second game they've done it. And you sit there and you look at their lineup, and they're scoring exceptional defensively, barely score any goals. Their goals for exception, their goal differential very low, and you have to say to yourself, they're fortunate to be where they are in the standings. Just eking out probably dirty wins. I suspect 1 goal wins here.
Well, these linesmen are quite active with making calls. They're the ones making all these calls out towards the wings.
Yeah. And I don't know how that was a foul, because I don't know if the player knew that. Didn't think there was contact there.
I don't know. Did you notice?
We get the benefit.
Just before that, they were all slow dancing. Everyone had a partner there. They were all hugged up against each other. No one could move.
I missed it.
There's a lot of clutching and grabbing going on, especially on those throw-ins.
I will be more. Rathbone left that one behind. Got the ball from Matty James. Man, how many good little passes does Matty James have in his repertoire? He did the long switch over to the right. He does the little dink over the top there. He's looking to earn himself a continued spot. Charlton scores, makes it even in Huddersfield. How many more goals on this one do you think, Aaron? I don't know. Well, that's a good poll question. Maybe we'll bring that up in the half as we see.
One of the strikers that gets changed out better score.
One of the strikers who was subbed out, you mean?
When we sub out, when we bring in Fall or
Mullen or whoever.
Or Mullen, like I want to see one of them get off the schneid and get going, you know?
Yeah. McGuinness, opportunity, Burton easily there, and it's going to go they're calling for a corner. I think it's the right call would be for a corner. Yeah, I thought, and the color commentators agreeing with me, thought it came off the back of McLean. Watch the high. Burton was there, and yeah, it hit his shoulder and rolls out. I don't know how we got the benefit of that one. That's a throw-in that we lost and a goal kick here that we won. The linesman active, but not making the right call when it comes to their job. John, it was fascinating. They talked about this. Was it the Rob Ryan Red podcast? I believe it was, and they had a Grecian podcast that was on there, and they joked about how everyone was going to expect a 1-0 game and just watch it be an absolute cracker with goals everywhere and everybody coming at everyone. James McLean into the box, 18-yard area, goes to his left-footed hand. No.
That's what McLean's saying. How do you not call that? I guess his hand's down, but that's Max Kluwerth hand right there, right?
That's the only that hit hand in the box, and the only reason that you don't give it is the exact same thing that Brendan was just talking about, the Max Kluwerth hand. Where did he not? Was it in a natural position? And I don't think it was.
Hey, his hand actually seemed like maybe an inch or two further away from his body than Max had his. Max was
I think it was higher up.
Inches. Yeah.
Some of this, and you wonder with. I talk about this with my dad and hi mom. You can communicate this to dad that I mentioned him as well. When we talk about hockey, about referees managing a game, and when it's 2-0, do you end up tilting the balance a little bit to try and give the opportunity for a team to come back, right? The drama of sport, and is that a subconscious thing?
No, it didn't hit him in the dead center chest. Thought it was his arm. And his arm was further away than we thought, but he hit him in his chest.
Yeah, chest, upper shoulder.
Yeah.
That highlight from the front looked like it got him in the bicep, but the other angle behind from the chest, and we've got somebody down. Is that McGuinness? Potential head injury. Here's a question. We don't know what happened. Was it Mullen who had the head injury in the last one?
I forget. Do you think that's what it is?
Well, it wouldn't be in the lineup then.
Yeah, you wouldn't even put him on the bench if he's not good enough. He's not good enough to be on the bench.
Because I was thinking to myself immediately, well, good on the referee for actually taking the head injury stuff serious. Because remember in the last game, and I'm pretty sure it was Mullen who came out and said, I basically told the physiotherapist, I'm Super Paul Mullen, and they put him back in the game. And I was like, I don't like that. You take a shot to the head, and he was saying or at least motioning, it looked like, and I should have followed up and looked, doing the I can't see thing. And I went, well, hold on a second. If he's saying that, he's not getting back into this game, and nor should he. And he went back in, and so it was. I recall that whole sequence now, or at least that is how I recall it. Somebody can correct me if I am wrong, but I'm confident that was the summary. Does he have an issue? But to that point, he shouldn't even be on the bench. Then is Doyle falls and it's cleared away and it's flicked on. Lee brings it down. Rathbone comes in and collects. He's kind of all by himself. Lee with it now, looking 20 yards out, 18 yards out, looking to flick it, chip it, hits a body. And now it's collected. Matty James out wide. I thought he missed the pass, but no, Kluworth is filling the space. Palmer with it. Oh, to the moon on the right-footed delivery.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would expect Bud Varson would have done a lot more with that than Palmer just did. But
sorry, can you repeat that? Do you think Dobson would have done?
No. Bud Varson.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, who are we talking about? No, I'll agree with you on that one.
By the way, W&G brought other good news. Lincoln won, Wickham won. Hopefully Lincoln can get another there and pull ahead. But
I'm all for it. I liked Lincoln. Like you look at Lincoln versus Exeter, like as far as style goes, comparing the two, they weren't able to score, but their style was a hell of a lot more fun to watch. And they've got a good keeper there. Whoa, Brunt lost that one on his feet. Had to go to the goal line. McLean had to come out and give him an outlet. And now McLean's dancing with pressure from Niskanen. McLean's still under pressure. And we've gone from having possession and control. Palmer, nice little flick over to run Rathbone too hard. And Krama comes over and collects it. That was a foul? Weak. But it doesn't matter. They played quick and away they go. Sweeney almost gave it away to Lee. We are on the hunt. I'll take a Wickham loss.
G-Zone trying to get the Wrexham chant going.
Kim, it was fascinating doing the review and bringing up the graphic, and I almost I had to refresh the graphic when I looked at it. They've never been higher than the third tier. That's correct, and they've only spent 3-4 seasons outside of the EFL. Like nobody has a record like that of offside flag. Krama says you got to give it yellow for kicking that ball away.
Really? Yeah, if he did, that would be gone for McLean.
Well, risky, right? I think that's one of those ones. There was no. He legitimately must not have heard the whistle because there was no reason.
The stalling too at 37 minutes into the game is kind of ridiculous. Like they're obviously not doing that. So.
Yeah. 37 minutes, 30 seconds coming up on the clock in 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're just joining us, thank you. If you're over on Extra Twitch, come over and join us on YouTube so you can take part in the chat. Beautiful pass. It leads him. They called it offside. I don't think that was offside.
27 was off, but they didn't call it.
I want to watch that one again because I actually think Watts, by the time that the pass came forward, I thought that he was ahead. I think he was onside. I think that Kluworth, he definitely was closer to goal than Barney, but I think that Kluworth had him onside.
If it was probably a whisker, right? Like,
oh yeah. But I'm just gonna call it as I see it.
It was certainly close, that's for sure.
And the whistle blows. Burton didn't make an attempt at it, so who knows if the miraculous attempt would happen. But it was a breakaway, wide open. And we will take it. The flag, though, as Kim identifies, goes down, stays down. It feels like a preseason friendly. It's just that was the first in 130 minutes of watching Grecian football. That was the first real legitimate attempt and a nice play going forward that I've seen. Palmer pulled down, foul going the other way. Francis with the haul down. Absolutely, Angel. Team Schneid. And it's one of those, this is one of those intriguing games where, you lose it and you start to really worry about falling too far off the cliff. You win it and you're like, that was just a blip. We're going to be okay. Watts getting the yellow. Mark saying that he was warned previously and then makes a challenge there. And the warning gets followed up with the yellow card. Usual numbers are in the 200 to 300 this time of year. You find a wane at the start of the season, then everybody sort of comes back around Christmas time, wanes again January, February, and then March goes crazy. And so I've had anywhere from 100 up to 1,200 live at the same time, concurrent viewers. 134 is about normal for now. We'll expect that will fill up. The problem that I've had is because I've been putting out less content. I get promoted less. The algorithm doesn't like me as much. So that's why the likes from you guys help. The sharing helps get everybody out there and let them know that we're here. Yeah, it should be. Dave pointed out the transfer window. I expect it to be, if we're there or thereabouts, as they would call it on Rob Ryan Red. I think there will be a move, and I think one of my kids just fell down the stairs. He's moving. That's good enough. Mom's got to find him. Dobson with it. Always scary when you hear thump, 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 and the echoing in the background. But he's finding his way up to the room. So, hey, thanks, Dave. That's that reminds me of the movie,
way offside. Come on. Yeah, you were way offside. Come on.
41 minutes. Sweeney with it, moving forward, passing. Watch, he's offside on that one, and I must be way behind where Brendan is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. I'm a good 15 seconds ahead on Paramount.
Wickham recovers the lead. The accuracy of that parenting moment. Well, he's up. Everything's good. Stockport goes 2-0 up on Burton. This is building to be one of those matches where, other than the Birmingham game, everybody around us sort of takes points. And so it's important that we secure ours. Watts offside twice, stinging Exeter City as a chance taken away there on the Sweeney entry, and Burton finally gets it forward. And Palmer, 3 guys on him, and the foul goes against Palmer. That was like, you seen the cartoon where you have the bulldog with the chihuahuas that are jumping around it, and like, where are we going, Frank? Where are we going? What are we doing? That was Palmer standing there, mountain in the middle with 3 mosquitoes buzzing around him, and he gets his head to it, and the official just says, well, it's got to be a foul. Snowboards here. And there's a message from DeAndre to Lincoln. Put her in for the halftime speech. McLean had the ball advanced forward to him by Lee. Too heavy on the first touch, and it just goes blasting out of play, and we go forward.
Sean, if you don't show up for some of those Sunday games, I'm afraid what Deandra and I are going to devolve into. I really get her going, and we wind each other up, and it's chaos.
You need a mediator?
Yeah, we need someone to keep us in line.
More parenting moments. Wrexham 2, Parky enthusiasm at halftime 0. Well done, Dave. I'm with you, Michael. When we are on, and we can take on the world. When we're off, like we were in the last one, it's just a horrible, nightmare, ugly thing to watch. Harrogate Town was the same thing. And so far, Parky's shut me the hell up. Interestingly enough, I guess we're going to go through the stats, but you look at the possession, we're at 54%. We need a grown-up. Where did the hosers go? Lots of people drop in, they leave. The other thing, too, that I don't take into consideration is a lot of people came over from X and hit up YouTube. Those stats are going up. I'm getting larger numbers on X and just decide not to take part in the chat. So hi to you that are over there. Coming over. 44th minute, not much happening. This game is slowing down, which I guess 2-0, trying to just slow pedal this one and get it across the line to the half. I've watched the watch parties on Sunday. I just haven't joined in on one. It's one of those things where I'm usually out and about with the kids, or I've got things on my honey-do list. Collected, moved forward, and it's Francis with it. Exeter trying to find something before the half, goes through Purinton up the left-hand side. Aitchison looking for Doyle. Doyle doesn't get it, and EOC clears it out. Doyle had an opportunity on a first touch to reach out and go and get it. He elected to let it hit ground and try to run onto it, and EOC just thumped it out as a consequence. Sweeney now with it. 2 minutes of added time. Niskanen right-hand side, 18 yards out, dancing, gets it up to Sweeney, who's going to put it like I want Sweeney. He's our version of Dobson. He's the guy that I want playing it into the box because he can't. He's a great defender, and I'll give it to him. And his character. Ooh, they played that slow motion. Tell me, I think he was onside. I think Watts was onside in that play. They slowed it down enough that he was certainly ahead of Barney, which is probably why the lino threw it up. But that's not the measurement. The measurement is the last defender. And I think that he was put on by Cleworth. It matters not. They've had one taken away. We've had one taken away. It should be 3-1. Wrexham need to keep their foot on the gas in this one, a bit disinterested or unfocused. We'll take both of them. I think they're there. Playing a team that publishes their lineup. So you don't have to go 90 minutes guessing who the heck is on the pitch.
We just come up with nicknames for everybody.
Oh, brilliant. Rathbone with it, gets it back. EOC collects to Burton. I like to think, Kim, that this isn't a situation where they're disinterested. I think it's just they've got an opportunity to just get it across by hook or by crook to the half. Take your time and go out feeling good about yourselves. And how is it not? Man, that Palmer goal, I don't think it's goal of the season. We had that one earlier on. Was it the cannon blast where it came down the whole team basically touched the ball before it was hammered into the back of the net. But that one should be up there. They should be happy if I call their numbers. End of the half. It's been a brilliant one for the Red Dragons. 2-0 the score going into the half. Palmer with an absolute beauty. Header given to him by Barney. Barney only sitting at 7.4. I think you give him a whole extra 1 point on FOTMOB just for the quality of that. The 3-5-1-1 Parky's way forward. Is Lee playing in that? I think FOTMOB calls it a 3-5-1-1, but I don't think that it's really changed in shape that much. Ski Bums finally got Paramount Plus. Let's go Wrexham, and John saying go 3-0 and let the other strikers come on with less stress to build up. I'm all for it. Yeah. The first one, both goals, not set pieces, but delicious entries into the area. The first one from McLean, who got it far post.
By the way, Ski Bum, Paramount Plus is a good 15 seconds ahead of Sean, so try best not to spoil stuff like I've been doing.
I'm going to hit the refresh button on mine just to see if I can get it any closer while we're in the half. Are we going stats first or table first?
Whatever you'd like, you call it.
Let's do the stats and have a look at that, because I don't like looking at the table. So maybe at least if I deflect it to later, it'll be all right. Means I should probably click on it too so I can actually see what we're talking about. Trivia question. When was the last time that we led the match with ball possession? A league match, not a trophy game. Ski Bum's still ahead of us. He's calling out a goal. And why did I just lose all of my stats? It went completely back to the pregame.
Yeah, it reset on me too. I had the stats up and
FOTMOB had. So let's go to the table in the interim, and then we'll have to come back and look at that. As I was like, what happened? The whole site went down. So I'm glad it wasn't just on my end, and it's a global phenomenon. If you're joining us late, the biggest surprise maybe of the game happened before the game. Birmingham with the loss to Shrewsbury. I mean, I get it. You're going to Shrewsbury, but Shrewsbury 24th, tied for 24th at the start of the game. Able to eke themselves up into 23rd with their third win of the season. 3 wins, 11 losses, and they're able to beat out Birmingham. I bet you Twitter is absolutely fascinating right now. discussing the outcome of that one. Wickham taking on Lincoln and up 2-1. It was 1-1 until probably about 10 minutes before the half. So frustrating there a little bit, as we would like to have them fall back a bit. Stockport doing as expected against Burton, one of those lower table teams that you think they're going to be able to handle, and they are. Barnsley embroiled in a battle with Wigan Athletic and losing at home. And so that one, Wigan, you never really know what to get from Wigan. 4, 5, 6, middle of the table, but they've been on a bad run of form. 3 losses, 2 draws in the run. So doing us a favor, I suppose, there. And Reading, flip a coin on any given day. What are you getting from Reading? They've seemed to have addressed their away form, as it's not just this one they're winning away, but they won another one recently. I'm seeing if I can bring that one up involving Reading. 1-1 on the road against Stevenage, and they had another win. Oh, it was the one against Exeter City that I was looking at, that they beat Exeter City in Exeter back in late October. So that maybe they've addressed their away form, which they were the worst team in League Two last year when it comes to their away form. So they've done their job. Lincoln City, obviously, they're top of the table. They're in that battle with Wickham. Probably looking for a Lincoln City win to get them up to 28 points and keep Wickham down as they're starting to run ahead. And Birmingham still has 2 games in hand, so only being a point behind, they've still got to like their opportunities to keep into the autos. But for Wrexham, it was just really, this match is about changing the dynamic a little bit with the loss in 2 draws in the last 4 games. You kind of want to right the ship, and if it is going to be not have too many points lost in a 5-game stretch. And so that's what this game is massively all for. Mansfield, they've got Bristol Rovers sitting 0-0. Huddersfield, they've got Charlton sitting 1-1. And so you look at the middle of the table, and those teams that are, they don't want to lose touch with the 6th place spot. And you look at Charlton, you look at Bristol, you look at Peterborough, you look at Exeter falling down. I guess they're only with 23 points in a game in hand, so maybe not in threat. But those teams from Peterborough, Charlton, Bristol, Stevenage, they've got to start looking at the table and wondering, what are we going to have to do to maintain ourselves and keep a run here so that we don't completely lose touch with the playoff spots. Going to be pretty cool to see Cleworth playing in the Premier League with Wrexham one day. What a ride he's on. Do we know which feeds use the local commentary? I think you only can get it from iFollow Snowboard. That's the only one I got. The Palmer goal looked like a kids game goal. He's so wide open in front of them. Yeah, kids game. I looked at it as like playing FA on easy mode, where you deliciously serve it up. The highlight there, the McLean goal. Oh, that was the goal that was taken away, the McLean entry. Did I get the... And Lee yelling at Rathbone, or was he yelling at the referee? It's still not clear to me.
I think he was yelling at Rathbone.
Yeah, and it's still not clear to me what the call was. Was it offside or was it a foul? But everybody's saying that Rathbone, well, not everybody, 50% saying Rathbone was offside on that one. It doesn't matter. Each team has had games taken away, or goals taken away, and I don't have FOTMob up, so I'm going to go to SofaScore and bring up their stats, unless it's a global phenomenon and the API actually disappeared.
Yeah, that Palmer goal was just way too perfect. They had him bookended. There was a yard between him and a defender off of his right and left shoulder, and that ball was just so perfect. They had no time to react.
It just dropped right in between the gap. Yeah. And you can see the beauty of that one. I'd love to see that highlight again, just to watch the crowd. And I probably could watch that on repeat over and over and over again. Something to watch the highlights for. That pass comes over and you can see where the fans in the tech end started to realize that's going into the net. People rising, the faces going, the limbs starting to move already before it even landed on Palmer's head. So SofaScore for the highlights on this one, because FOTMob's gone down. Ball possession, 52%, 48%. The big chances, 3 for us, none for them. 9 shots to 5, 6 corner kicks to 2. And the passes, we're leading 236 to 219. An interesting 6-3. Shots on target, 3 of the 9 on target, none on target out of the 4 that they've taken. 1 off target, 5 block shots for us, 3 for them, and we've had a total of 8 shots inside the box. You look at the build of play, which I like about SofaScore. They're able to do that if you go there. Lots of play through the middle of the pitch, the heavy green areas on both the right and the left, so equal delivery through there. And most of the passes come in midfield forward.
It's all Wrexham.
It is.
There's only a couple of stats that, and they're defensive ones for the most part for Exeter.
Yeah, clearances. Congratulations. You're beating us in clearances. You're beating us on throw-ins.
Less fouls committed. Yeah, great.
And
less big chances missed. Since you didn't have any big chances, you had none to miss. So
yeah, perfect. Yeah, so it's been good. Wrexham winning aerial duels is different from recent games. This whole thing is this whole game has been a different thing than we've seen since I feel like I have to bring up the table and go back and look.
Again, it's our young guys. Oh, by the way, this is a conversation that we're going to have, and maybe we save it for a less interesting, exciting game. But if they think that they could get into the championship, then you've got to start buying championship players in this window, right? You got to get a couple in the door. And we talked about it because of how it works in the balance sheet, how it doesn't count, stuff like that. And because you want to use this window, the summer window, and then the next January window to make sure that if you did get into the championship, you're able to stay in the championship, right?
Yep.
You don't want to swap out the whole team in one window. You'd like to spread it out over the 3. So you have to start on this one. Yep. And when you think about that, I think before the season, we were wondering if we had any real championship players or anyone would be ready to go once we got there. And I'd be curious what the chat thinks and what you think are the players that you think are capable of playing in the championship for us next year and holding their own. Because for me, I'm looking at Okonkwo, Cleworth, and Barnett. I think confidently are championship level players. That if they were at those positions, they're not going to win every time. They're not going to be necessarily the best player at their position. But those 3 I think are a super solid group to start with. Your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident they can hang. I would throw in there as likelies. I think Scar has the moxie. I think Marriott has the moxie to do it. George Evans, if he's healthy, has the capacity to do it. But for me, if you're going into the championship, to expect to go back to back to back to back is never going to happen. Never going to happen.
No, you just want to stay up.
And that's why I think that a lot of the players that we have, Cleworth, Dobson, Ogonkwo, and I think if you were to go with Marriott, even McLean on the left wing, they're not the best options, but they're good enough to hold, right? And for me, that's good. I think if we're going out to look to sign players, you're looking for those Louis Barry types at Stockport that are on the cusp of potentially making it into the Premier League, and what's probably around that 23 to 24 years of age. Go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Barry Young. I was looking.
Louis Barry. He's actually a loanee. He's 21.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because I mean, you look at players who, and at the lower levels, this was like Mullen, and this level it's Louis Barry in this league, or Poku, who they just have the ability. They're just at a different level. Barney is on that level. They have the ability to just change the game with their own magic, just their own. They just seem to flick a switch, and they can do it by themselves. And I think we need that body up front, desperately, not only for this competition but going forward. So there's.
I'm guessing you saw the same thing that I did. That Louis Barry is likely to get recalled. His team has a pattern of recalling guys who start out good during the season, recall them in January and sell them. Is what I've heard. So there's a chance that he'll be recalled and then be on the market. And there's a couple of teams looking to potentially buy him, but Wrexham, is rumored to be one of the teams that should probably step up and do that. And I think Dave was pointing it out, and you've probably seen it. Was it, I don't know if it was Rob Ryan Red or someone else mentioned that the new partners in Wrexham have put in over 11 million into the coffers of Wrexham, and people are wondering, is that purposely being done in lieu of the January window coming and them going out and needing to buy some top tier talent?
I no, that's good insight. It definitely could be, and I'm curious to see what happens with it. When we're talking Louis Barry, Kim with gonna light up Birmingham Twitter. Louis Barry is better than Stansfield, in her opinion, and I probably don't disagree with that. And I think the proof is in the pudding, both as far as performance this year, and I believe Louis Barry's still a couple of years younger because Stansfield is going to.
Listen, if you want to pluck a player from League One, you got to go get Poku.
Yeah, I also plays for me. Do you want my crazy shout for a player that'll never happen, but that I would love to see is Jacob Schaffelberg. Nashville FC, Canada's newfound player. He's probably, to be fair, performing better than Alphonso Davies has been recently for the national club. And he's got the full mullet. He's from Nova Scotia, and he's a personality. And I would love to see him play left wing, I guess, for us, take over for McLean at some point in time. Or jump in for that if we move up to the championship. That'd be my shout. Can play forward, scores lots of goals.
I wonder how hard it would be for them to bring their first international in the January window. Like they seem to run up against it time wise. I'm thinking if there's going to be an international, it would be during the summer when they have plenty of time to make that all work. They don't seem to do good in the short windows, right?
Well, you've got two sources too, right? Like you've got the transfer window. You can do that for the English players, but you could also grab the MLS players whose their season's over. It's not what Wrexham does. Parkey likes his English EFL proven. I shouldn't say English, but his EFL proven players, and he doesn't like to take loan players on unless he has to. So we know it's going to be to find somebody. We're on the ball already on this one. Exeter City out going right to left in their black and whites, us from left to right. And this is their thirds because their jerseys are normally blue. This I never picked that up. These should be their black jerseys with the yellow, I'm assuming, on the front of them. That's what I did, the Who Are You series. And if you haven't been here and you haven't watched the Who Are You, keep an eye out for those as I'm trying to get them out there. Click on your notifications. It'll tell you when a new video comes out there, and feel free to join those and watch those. And
call it out.
I'm wrong.
It started on Paramount, so call it out.
Yeah, I'll call it out. We're still waiting as whistle blows. We're underway, and I guess refreshing the clock didn't do anything. No spoilers for those that are watching, and I didn't do the shout out during the half, so let's do it really quickly. To the sponsors, this is all ad-free thanks to their donation contribution revenue. Ultimate Promotions, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. If you're looking for pins like this press one or soft enamel, hard enamel, the badges, go ahead and grab those. 48 years of experience, free shipping, free artwork. Thank you to them for helping us out, and thanks to you guys for being here. That like button is down there before. I'm going to check FOTMob to bring it up, and if not, we're going to stay with Sofa Scores, as the start of this one just has the ball bouncing around, and it's going to be Watts with Barney over there. Barney snuck his leg in and pulled it forward, but not able to maintain it. Goes in for a throw.
On Paramount, they just zoomed in on Katamari there, who they were touting as, their danger man. And yeah, he's been, I shouldn't say it, I'm going to reverse jinx this, but he's been quiet, I think.
They had that opportunity right there. So I'm just looking. 19. Sonny Cox. Is that who's just? Sonny Cox. That's the winter. The winter sub. I need to wake up. I need my coffee.
Alone?
The halftime sub. Sonny Cox. Taking advantage of the free window. Something we rarely.
Oh, look at that holding. Come on.
Right foot in swinger coming forward and headed away by Palmer. You're miles ahead.
Yeah, I got to shut up. I'll mute myself.
Dave Foster with the donation. Thank you forward for it. Incoming fist bump. Bristol Rovers helping out. And Giselle giving some trouble. Whitworth collects it on a pass forward to Palmer, and it's now moved out. Francis with it for Exeter. Doyle, who hasn't done much, and just skips that one down and gives it away. If I'm the coach, all I'm doing for an entire practice is just working on advancing it from the back line forward, because they give away the ball all the damn time. I mean, good for us. Free up my coffee money by drinking whiskey. Love it. Nothing wrong with that. Wait till you start putting whiskey in your coffee. Christmas season, the joy of being able to dump Baileys into coffee. Or whatever Irish cream you call it. Yeah, I should have got my coffee at the halftime. Oh, Lee, Barney gave it to him, 18-yard box. Lee looking at, he tried to get it back to Barney, and it's the right-footed stab by Francis, able to grab that one. Whoop. And is this just a Canadian thing or maybe a North American thing? But whenever you put booze into something, why is it always called Irish, right? It's an Irish coffee if you add the whiskey, or it's Irish cream if you add that, the alcoholic cream beverages, Bailey's, Kahlua, that sort of stuff. Is that just our assumption that all the Irish are drunks? or is that a UK thing that it's called Irish coffee over there? I don't know. Palmer tries to go forward and nick it off of McMillan and fails, and now it's put all the way forward, but Brunt was able to head it, but it's going to be a scramble in the middle of the pitch, and it's collected by McGuinness. The old man, 34, still doing this thing, gets it to the young man, Doyle. Doyle and McGuinness over to the right-hand side. Niskanen cross into the box. Was that headed away by O'Connell or a miss header by Exeter City? Must have been by O'Connell, because it's going to be a throw to Exeter City. It's a default to call it Irish coffee. So do the Irish call it Irish coffee? Or do they just call it coffee? What do the Welsh call when you put whiskey in your drinks, in your coffee?
Brunt looking good again.
Sweeney with it over to the right. Niskanen draws it back, cut it forward, and it's bounced around, and that was Cox trying to make a play on it and couldn't. Krama. Bad pass by Krama. Their center backs. Not all Irish are drunks, but I'm pretty sure all drunks will eventually claim to be Irish. We've turned this into an Irish slam along. I'm gonna have to look that up. Talk to somebody. Doyle with it, draws it all the way back to Whitworth. Exeter City hits the reset button, and Krama comes back to collect. And I'm okay with this continued possession that they end up having and trying to maintain, because the issue that they have is once they get it forward, like McGuinness not able to hold it up, and they just give it away. So it's almost like the best defense you can have is to not have the ball in our third, because if you miss a pass like Burton just did on that clearance, you give away the ball on a threatening opportunity. So it's better.
Oh, yeah, flag him up. Cool.
Sweeney with it. Taken away. McLean dancing through the middle of the pitch. Hauled down. Yellow. Aitchison picking up the yellow card for a late challenge, taking out the legs of James McLean. Kim, we showed for the early subs every time, Kim. I'm probably not going to jinx it, because maybe he'll just make the changes in any event.
Yeah. Well, we're not tiring yet. I think we got good pressure. We're still playing well, so we're not needing that, boost from the subs yet. So it doesn't have to be super early, but you want to keep
Let's go for 62 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes earlier than normal, and we'll take it. Yeah, I think Dave, as far as the attempt, yes. The fact that where he made contact, I think in football matters. And so I think that's why nothing was called on that instance. But Kluwerth with it, gets it to EOC. Over to Max. Max forward now on the right-hand side to Dobson, who dances towards the middle before returning it. Oh, now we got it. McLean with it, left-hand side, 18-yard box. I like it. It probably runs a little bit long, though.
Yeah.
Interesting from Northern Border. I'm not worried about our players in the championship. I'm worried about Parky's tactics. Parky will get outmanaged 95% of the time in the championship. And you know what? The problem, I'll just give you the counterpoint to that, is everybody said that that's going to be our throw-in. Doyle just got manhandled, the young kid, by Elliot Lee. Bullied him. Or not Elliot Lee, Matty James. Barney into the box, slips and fell. Matty James with his shoulder bars, and Matty Rathbone up. Our midfield is all over the place. Matty James coming all the way over to the right to make a tackle. Then Rathbone gets all the way up and takes a tackle. Matty James gets it to Palmer. Free opportunity, 18-yard box. Dancing along the goal line, stabbed out. And James McLean going out there. Matty James. I don't think it... I think it's been a frequent statement that has been made, though, that Parky will get outmanaged in the EFL. Then he'll clearly get outmanaged in League One, and he hasn't been. I mean, he likes his format, he likes his formation, and he goes with it, and it tends to work. So, left-footed, far post. Keeper got a punch in, and Palmer's sitting there wondering what's going on, and Sweeney and Palmer have a veteran chuckle as they kind of pat each other on the back after getting tangled up there. And it's James McLean now coming back. He's over on the right-hand side, trying to advance with his left foot up to Palmer, who can't get there. Francis back to Cramla, and Exeter City hits the reset button. Mike's going to go to the rematch. It's the long haul down. And it looks like the roads were decent. I was kind of wondering, I thought, man, the long haul going to be made even uglier for Exeter City. Doyle with it outside the box, and then Dobson says, oh, and then good on Doyle for fighting back on that. I thought the young kid was just going to get spanked by Dobson, but he stuck with it and pulled the ball back, and as it is, it rolls out and it goes for doesn't go for a goal kick. Cox was able to, I think they were both trying to frame each other out, and I forgot to check something here. Going to be a corner kick from the right-hand side. And I can't do what I need to do. But whistle blown, so we'll hit the reset button. Oh, headed down instead. I thought I heard an extra whistle, and I thought that the play was dead, but instead it goes down, and it's nothing happening there. We'll take it. Sorry, I just have to check something here. Don't mind me.
Palmer is running really hard and working really hard out there. And that the only reason that he'd be running this hard this early and is because he knows he's going to get pulled soon.
Yeah, if you're Palmer, you're laughing. You've gone up Parky's depth charts.
If he's going to give this kind of effort and be running this hard, I mean, I hope they told him, I'm not giving you more than 60 or 62, so bust your ass all the time.
Yeah. And I'm with you, Kim. Early on in the season, I thought he had both sides of the ball covered, but he has looked a little suspect as Niskanen tries to get it. And if I was an Exeter City fan, I am pulling. I would have pulled every hair in my body off of it.
It's a disturbing visual.
It is a disturbing visual. Every hair on my body pulled right off. Stress and frustration as they're making early changes again, going to the board. And good on the coach for trying to find something and somebody who can change the dynamic here. But they just make so many piss poor passes at the penultimate time. It's that almost last entry into the box, and all of a sudden they just give it away, right? They build it down, they look for that guy along the wing, and they give it away. And as a consequence, we've got the ball, and this has all been possession now for a minute. That was a consequence of their poor play. As we do the center back kickabout thing, and Stockport goes up 3-0. W&G, thank you so very much. EOC with it. A little bit of hoof, and he gives it away. Yeah. You need a little bit of Guns N' Roses. Is it Guns N' Roses? Just a little patience. Yeah. Because that's what we needed right there. We're up 2-0 if you're EOC, and if they're not going to come after you, and we're kicking around on the back line, why not? I know that that's not what we normally do. We like to be on the front foot and be on the attack, but keep looking for opportunities rather than just giving the ball away. And so as it is, it's Exeter City. The game has fit into a slower routine as Sweeney goes on a run 20 yards forward across the halfway line, puts it forward. It's up in the air. Matty James comes and cleans it up. He's just a vacuum. He's a magnet. The ball finds him. He forces it and wills it into being on his foot. And he's got a passing repertoire that's impressive to just get the ball to somebody. As Palmer gets away from Sweeney. Oh, deflected on the far pass, finding Barney over on the right-hand side. He's now crossed in front of the area, finds Palmer. Lee left it, and I think Lee touched it and thought it would have 2-on-2 break going the other way. I'll talk about the Lee chance and why that was frustrating in a second as Watts moves it forward, and Brunt, and here's the opportunity. Burton called on, and he has the answer. They did the thing. I was waiting for them to blow a pass somewhere through there, but good defense gets it there. And yes, W&G is amazing. That Lee opportunity, I think he just barely touched the ball on the right-footed entry into the box, and had he left it, it would have rolled straight through to Palmer. But by just deflecting a little bit, it threw Palmer's timing off, and he wasn't able to get to the ball. But on this one, well defended, well covered, Cluworth and Brunt, and it ended up being Cox with the opportunity, and he just smashes it into the legs of Burton, who came out and stopped it. Sloppy, good defensively with the final two, sloppy through the midfield coming on the way back. I'll take the defensive play positioning for them. Left-footed in swinger, and I believe that's Doyle who's going to be doing the delivery. I don't see him elsewhere, and it looks like him from a distance. Swept high, far post, up in the air, and Burton, right-footed with a... How is that not a foul?
How are you not getting thrown out on that?
He's being hugged, and he got just watch the replay here.
No card or anything by holding his arm.
I thought that he fell on top of him. I didn't recognize he held his hand the entire time. Did McMillan?
He had two hands holding his bicep.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see by Burton yet, John. No one's up for Wrexham, unfortunately. Wanted to see them at the 60th minute. Sean called 62, but we know Parky. He usually doesn't stray from that 65 or 70. So
that was a hell of a save as he was fouled, going down, being grabbed. It was, and you almost anticipated that the foul was going to be
awesome with the punch out, and it's something that Alconco does not utilize enough.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. Positionally, Burton has the moxie.
Wow. Sweeney manhandling them.
Manhandling them? Yeah, that works. Rathbone taken away. Sweeney, Rathbone into a shoving match. Sweeney too big. Outmuscled him and goes the other way. Matty James, nice tackle. Gets Palmer 3-on-4. Palmer tried to find Lee over on the right-hand side, but couldn't get the dance, and gets up and apologizes and puts his head down. Look at Palmer busting his hump. Well done, sir. Gets it all the way back, forces the turnover, and Palmer goes forward and immediately
he has to know his minutes from coming out.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that pressure got him to kick it ahead a little before he wanted to, which got the turnover. So good pressure by Palmer.
in the U.S., we call them the Philadelphia Eagles fans. We could be second in the NFL every year, and they'd still call for every player and coach's heads. Absolutely true.
It's hard to say that you got to take Palmer out as hard as he's playing and as much as he's impacting the game. It's just he's limited, right? Yeah. And that the ceiling, he's reaching his ceiling right about now, and there's not much else left. And I guess you just see others that have so much more potential. They're just not getting it done.
That's a shocking statement, Kim. Has Matty James done anything in this game? I haven't noticed him much. He's in my man of the match conversation because he's made that brilliant tackle there. He's been a vacuum cleaner with the ball in the midfield. It's just always on his. He's had a chip up over top to McLean. He had the switch over to Barney. He's had about 4 or 5 solid passes, maintaining possession and doing exactly what we couldn't do and didn't have in the game prior. And that was that connection from midfield to forward. He's been able to control the midfield, and I think more than Rathbone and more than Dobson, he's been certainly our best midfielder. Whether you think that it should go to Barney because of the service, McLean he's had himself a solid game. Palmer obviously been busting his hump, but to me, he's been our best midfielder. Deandra agreeing, saying he's liked the passing that he's done. Opportunity, Mitchell, he's a new sub, got it in, put it into the dangerous area, and it's bounced around goal line, off a brunt, deflected forward, but Rathbone collects the loose ball, eats that up, and just says, you know what, I'm going to clear this. And picks out Lee, who chests it down and gets it to Matty James. Matty James up in the air looking for Palmer. Palmer fighting with Krama. So the referee knows, at least from that one, you're not allowed to pull somebody down by their arm.
Unless it's a goalie.
Unless it's a goalkeeper. Sorry, I got that wrong. But at least he knows it's a rule in the rule book. Cleworth, tackle after tackle. Rathbone says it went out of play. It didn't. Cox gets it, moves it forward. And so we've got the second sub as Mitchell came in, number 7, and goes loose. And guess who's there? Rathbone to collect it and gets it up to Palmer. Palmer tried to get Matty on the run, but too heavy on the ball, and it went too far. And now Matty, he looks gassed. I'm going to be honest. He's played a good game, but he's starting to do the arm flail when you're running too hard and you're really tired. They keep hanging on to us. If you can't beat them, hold them. Well, I meant my midfield, to be fair, Rathbone, James, Dobson. McLean and Barnett are my wingers. Rathbone, James, and Dobson are my midfielders. And the way I look at it, call it a 5-3-2, call it a 3-5-2. I guess it depends. Huddersfield goes up on Charlton. Not what we wanted. A draw would have been better in that one, or it will be better. Pushed in the back is Lee by McMillan.
Yeah, it was a great tackle, Kim.
26, 37, and 78 in the championship. I don't think he lasts 2 seasons up there. Uh-oh. Burton down. Well, the color commentator giving some stick to Palmer for the performance at the end. Burton down. I didn't see anything. The right shin angle. I don't know why he went down. I don't know what that's about. Did anybody see anything?
Yeah, it was water break.
Well, it's water break because he went down.
No, I know. I think it looks like a stall. He looks fine. I didn't see anything.
Well, it's always nerve-wracking when you see somebody go down away from the play, and maybe it was he just needed the water. It doesn't look like cramp issue, and he's. Chomp is up having a smile. He thinks it's gamesmanship, but he's going to go up and take the opportunity to walk the sidelines.
He's acting like I got to get ready because he hurt.
Dave, pat yourself on the back. We'll take it. Yeah, Kimmy doesn't look hurt. I think he was just holding it up, but Howard is warming up. But did you see the cheeky grin?
Well, that's like Chomp's first excuse, really, to get up in a
to get up in a League One match and stretch. He was like, I've got this, coach. Let me go.
I'll help sell it.
Brunt, last time we complimented Brunt, he had a piss poor defensive play, so I'm not going to make a comment on how he's been today until the end of this one. Dobson gets it over to Barney. Just possession. Control of the ball. Who are we? What's going on? What happened to the Red Dragons?
A little bit over there. I mean,
there were two players running that. I think that's just Howard walking back up the stairs after he'd had his moment to warm up. Clueworth looking up to find Palmer because Sweeney gets it. Krama heads it back. Palmer's there, but it jumps over to Whitworth. I had to get that one right because if you didn't, Palmer was standing right there. I want to see this game in full mud. It's stuck in the mud. Opportunity. Mitchell, the latest sub, gets it to Doyle. Doyle swings it back. Francis with it. Left-hand side. The whistles are blowing. The fans with the impatient whistle. Francis, did that go out? Like, we keep saying it. And it keeps holding true. Like, just give away possession. Give away possession. They shoot themselves in the foot. And
they could be on bad form right now, but between the Lincoln game and this game, Exeter is exactly what we saw them do in Lincoln. And they are not a top 10 team. This is,
But you look at what you'd expect out of Exeter. Supporter trust funded, so they're not going to have big money to go out and get players. 1.1 million losses last year or 2 years ago, I guess.
By the way, I totally respect the fan run stuff. Like super impressive, and would root for them if we weren't playing against them, right?
Yes.
And if they can get into the top 10. I'm happy for them. Like, be in the mix for those fans the whole season. Like, please. But honest evaluation, this does not. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. We've only seen the Lincoln game and this game, but I mean, I'm wondering where they go, like how they get to another level. Who is it? A couple of those forwards, maybe. Watts shows promise. A couple other strikers, one of the midfielders, but otherwise, I'm not seeing greatness.
Yeah, no, it's they're punching above their weight class, and they have a good little system set up for building a competitive club and doing what they can on limited funds. Right? Is they go and they grab young lone players. That's the relationship with the coach. Lee up over finding Palmer. Krama comes in and grabs it. They're willing to test the international market and give opportunity to players to come over and show what they've got. And they grab as Mullins up walking around and looks to be coming in here, 70th minute. Bodferson comes over and gives him a pat. He's got to come in and absolutely open it up, and not really the game where we're sort of stuck in the mud that you expect it's going to be the greatest opportunity for him. But he's got to bust it. His Wickham goes up 3-1. That's not good. And Deandra highlighting Lincoln not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So Mullen comes in 70th minute. And comes in for, interesting, for Lee.
Well, he can't really, I mean, I guess you come in for Palmer if you're just looking to press, right?
Yeah, well, 2-0 game. I can get it. I would have made the double sub then. Bring Fall in as well.
I agree with you.
But maybe they want to give a little bit of time to see Mullen and Palmer run together here.
Lee's upset.
A 2-0 game and you walk up frustrated. I'll take that.
Good to have some fire. Yeah.
Bristol have one shot on target and lead Mansfield, who have 14 shots. We'll take a Bristol win.
Swing it.
Palmer with it, moving forward. Mullen in front of him. Let's see what they get. It's a 2-on-2 with green jerseys coming back. Over to Mullen. He holds it up, finds Dobson, and Dobson does Dobson things. Drills it into the backside of Doyle. Barney collects it, looking for the cross, and he bangs it off of the sub. In a corner.
He would have been 20 meters left of the goal if there wasn't a defender there.
Chris, hello from Singapore. How are you? Been to Singapore. Didn't like that I couldn't spit my gum anywhere.
What?
It's against the law to litter and spit your gum out in Singapore. You get fined.
I know, it just sounded really perverted. It's just highlighted.
Took the train down from Kuala Lumpur, one of the better holidays that I've had, actually. James McLean on the right-hand side in front of the cop, the empty midfield fan zone. Fans everywhere. Wrexham going to be called on to reevaluate that as maybe it isn't working as advertised. Left-footed in swinger scores! It's in the back of the net. Rathbone finds it near post, and that was that. Remember, go back, Brendan, to where we talked about in the first half, or the very first corner that McLean had, that flat entry that was a little bit too close to the keeper. And I said, I like that pace, but it's got to be further away from the line so that it can find a red foot or a red head, a red body. And that's what this was. This was another hard, well, I guess it was higher than I thought and required Rathbone to go up in the air a little bit. Because Rathbone being held by Krama out-muscles the Frenchman. Brilliant. Beauty. The bullet corner. Who said 3-0? Brendan did. Deandra's happy. Dave says Rathbone's had a better game than Matty. All game. Interesting. I'd have to give the nudge because Rathbone scored. What's the stats say? Rathbone's up to 7.0 and 6.9 before the goal gets put up by Fotmob. So Fotmob agrees with you by 0.1. I'm going to hold on to my position. I really have enjoyed Matty's performance. 3-0. Still going. Mullen with it. Forward to Palmer. Palmer back to Mullen. Couldn't make a shot, so he's going to... I tried to dance. He had McLean over to the left-hand side. To me, that might be a little bit of racing. Trying to do something rather... I mean, 3-0, nothing. Take the opportunity, I guess. If this would have been a 0-0 game, I would have been like, Mullen, make the pass. But in a 3-0 game, I'm happy for Mullen to try and have the ball at feet and do a thing. But woohoo, Lavinia, indeed. Sean and Brendan are greater than Fotmob. That's the comment of the match. Sean and Brendan greater than Fotmob. Swap out someone else. Yes, John. And in fact, make it a multiple sub. Looking at the bench, Revan comes in. Fall comes in. At the same one. Just one. Use the window and make 2 changes. Rathbone's been on. Matty James has asserted himself. Dobson's been Dobson defensively. He's also been Dobson offensively. The back line has looked good. I'm still not going to talk about Brunt.
So, to me, that goal just seems ridiculously unlikely. If Rathbone's going to score, he's not going to score on a header on a set piece. Who puts the tiniest man on the team in with those giants and expects he's going to get service and be able to head that in? Nobody.
And the man who's marking you is Krama, who's got like a full foot on you and is a solid center back. He's
someone should get pulled out of the game and just, flogged for that. Because how do you let that guy whoop you physically inside? I mean, that's just disgusting.
Yeah. It is. But it is a beautiful day right now. It makes up for the weak goal differential over the last couple of games. Not yet, John. We want more. McLean went up for the header. I thought he went up early too, as Mark Griffiths called in the headset, but the referee said no. That was because Niskanen must have bumped into his feet. We have somebody in a penny, but is that an Exeter player running the wings? Nope, came over to back to our side.
So the lack of subs, Sean, it was making me think that he's like, okay, we're going again on Tuesday. I'm not going to bring these guys in because I'm going to start the other group. But as well as these guys played, how do you not want to run them back, right? Like they kind of earned it, this lineup. So even if you had been resting guys, expecting to bring in others, what do you think? Do do you go again with the same crew, or do you swap out all the rest of the
I think you make a couple of selective changes, right? I think Lee. I mean, now see, it has made it tough as I'm looking at the lineup. The back line you can change it up. Scar can come back in. Tom can come. TOC
played well. He did.
I'm not saying he didn't. Brent's had a hell of a game. The last time we said that, then he had a defensive meltdown like about 2 minutes later. So I've been pausing to say that. And yes, Exeter, the best defensive team in the league. Let's not forget that. And the good reminder, have looked abysmal defensively in front of the box. 100% true. Aitchison comes out with a sub, and who comes in for them? Jay Bird.
Yeah. So, but what do you do now, right? You want James in.
I want James in. I'd love to be able to find him a spot. But
Rathbone's been playing out of his mind. Are you really pulling Dobson to leave Lee in the game, or are you pulling Lee?
See, now it's a beautiful problem to have. Where before we were like, we're injured, we've got holes everywhere. What are we doing? Now we're sitting here licking our lips, being like, we're indestructible. We've got answers everywhere.
Not for nothing, but Lee not in the midfield was a plus. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so are you only going with one forward on an ongoing basis? It's fascinating. We were looking at trying to find a place for McLean to go into the midfield early in the season for Revit, and now we're looking at the midfield going, Dobson has to be penciled in. Rathbone's getting damn close to being in the same spot. You've got Lee, James, and Cannon, which are all exceptional options. So you're not pulling Barney off, and our back line's answered. So that's why they pay Parkey the big bucks. Wow, Doc down. I missed the opportunity. Did Palmer with the right-footed? If that would have found the corner, we would have gone nuts, because that would have been a hell of an opportunity.
He put a good move on the ball. Like, even Palmer and McLean, who love getting super upset because no one passed them the ball, they both were like, no, that was a good kick. Like,
Palmer off.
It's who's your daddy time.
See, interesting. We get to January, we're going to be looking to get new players, but you've got young Mo Fall who's starving for minutes. You want to build him up, get him opportunity and game things to strut his stuff, to get familiar, comfortable. You paid all the money for him. He's here long term. Bodferson's not. So in a game like this, 78th minute,
or you have to kick the tires and make your decision, because they have to make up their mind whether they're keeping him for the rest of the year or not, right?
Well, but we've been talking about going and getting another striker. So who do they come in for?
It's
Fletcher.
You park it. You just, unfortunately, you give up on Fletcher for this year, right?
As to the tech issues too, I'll also identify, because you don't have it. They've lost Mark at the race course, and so the I follow tech issues continue to be just an ongoing. That we lost him in the last game when the Wi-Fi went out, and you can't blame Mark, and bless him, he's dealing with tech stuff, but. For a team that's focused on getting out to the world, whatever, and you can still have the audience in my ears. So whatever feed you're using to connect the audience mic, that should be the mic that they go with. If Palmer knew how to curl the ball.
Tech, how do those guys have their jobs? I have no idea.
Yeah, we're 16, 17, but not including cup games. We're 22 games into the season here, and we're still talking about tech issues. John agrees with me on the Mo Fall thing. I guess if you think that Bodferson is going to be an answer going forward and into the championship, I don't. Opportunity there. EOC came forward, crossed into the box, and committed to knocking it down, and did, and it was the right play because it just went wide of the goal by about 2 feet. But that was screaming own goal on the.
That was O'Connell, by the way.
That was O'Connell. Did I say O'Connor?
Well, no, I just mean like he doesn't get enough credit for his defense. It's typically extremely solid, and he's good with the ball at his feet most of the time, passing it ahead. It's when someone runs at him that he's a mess. Otherwise, he's awesome.
That one, O'Connell just knocks it to the back, and they'll redo the corner again. I thought that looked like an own goal coming to me. That's why I was like, made the sound, is when he went to ground. I thought he's going to knock that into our net. He's going to knock that into our net, and it went too far to the right.
Do you remember that was one of his first times on the field, and he owned goal in like the first 2 minutes of the game. Or
Yeah. I follow back to your tech glitches unless the Norwegians have kidnapped Mark, Mia, and Andy. Mia goes missing in action. Brunt, nice little header to get the clearance away, but it goes to Doyle again, who's on the outside of the area, and hammers it in. And now Mr. Griffiths is back. Mullen, McLean, looking for Dobson. Can Dobson do a thing? Whitworth comes all the way out and has to head it outside of the box and gets it ahead. Matty James into a battle. Oh, sorry, that was Barney into the battle and gets it. And it's over. Oh, Mullen.
Yeah, but if Mullen lets that ball go, it goes to Bud Varson, who buries it.
Yeah, probably. That just wasn't pretty. He was looking for the highlight goal, looked to go and hammer the heck out of it with a scissor kick.
By the way, that's the first time I've seen Mullen smile, and I don't even know how long.
That's true. 82 minutes. O'Connor tackled. When did TOC come in? And is he playing in the midfield position? What happened? I need a refresher on my FOTMob. I know Bodferson came in, and I'm guessing TOC came in at the same time.
TOC's in there?
Yeah, he came in for Rathbone, so he's playing in the midfield.
Yeah.
So Rathbone had him, give him credit as he subbed out, had himself a hell of a game, but in that window, Bodferson came in for Palmer. We talked about that. We missed the TOC first time in the midfield since last year.
Yeah, Dave, that actually goes a long way. As late as they brought them in and the fact that they did not start Mullen, for him to be smiling is actually a good sign, because I would have been on board if anyone made the comment, he's just had a shitty attitude so far this year. It hasn't helped, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were claiming that, and he's yelling at his own players, not happy every time he doesn't get service, upset with himself, just overall not in a good headspace, right? And to see him smiling like that, who knows? Maybe there's hope.
I'm with you. No, it's. I just think I would love to see him get one. Like that scissor kick, if that would have gone in, we would have been screaming to the heavens, because that would have been amazing. Screaming to the heavens, wrong idiom, because that usually connotes something negative. You know what I mean? There would have been limbs. We would have been happy. Just because the goal would have meant a little bit something more, because he's only had one. And you look at the minutes that he's been playing, you'd expect more. Mitchell on Barney. Barney stabs it away, and Mitchell reaches around and pulls Barney down.
Dominating
our way
defensively too. Awesome.
Yeah.
Superstar. That's what I got to get. I got to get the superstar gift.
Exeter just doesn't have anything up front. Nothing up front. I was like, hey, they don't have a fourth sub. Oh, yeah, they use their halftime, so they still have the extra window. Lincoln, maybe doing
Harper
a thing.
Is pretty dynamic. They just brought in. He can make stuff happen. He made some good chances happen against Lincoln.
And who is this?
Harper.
Yeah. So Lincoln 2-3. Mullen yelling about not getting service is what you want, but if he doesn't finish, he deserves to get yelled at. I'm all for that. I haven't seen it. With Marriott, you could when he wasn't scoring, I was like, there feels to me like there's something there. Mullen just seems off. Gets pulled down, no foul called. He's Bodferson trying to step over top, can't do it. And Max strips that one away, knocks it forward. Barney, stab forward to Dobson, but it goes too far. And it's cleared away. And EOC, that was Brunt with the easy read. Just ran forward in front of two players, grabs the ball, and we've got an opportunity as Mullen lays it off McLean, looking for Bodferson, but way too far. Barney, is he able to get up there and collect? He does. Misplayed by Harper. And Barney serves it up. Oh, Whitworth not able to get there, and that's going to go out for a goal kick as a consequence.
He didn't touch that? Damn.
I don't think he did. I think he went up. The challenges of being 5'9" when you want to climb the ladder like that. Get up there, little man. Get up there. You can't get there. Oh, that was McLean with it? I thought that was a Barney service. Isn't it? I mean, to be fair, Border, massive, but also just a team effort. Like, you're getting goals from Cleworth. Palmer stepped up today and did his thing. Harper bangs off a Barnett and then headed out, and so it'll go for a goal kick. And it's interesting, Kim, and I've said this before. Remember when Mullen came back from his injury last season, and he was missing some clear opportunities. And I remember that the first or the second game back, he had wide open from about 19 yards, 18 yards out, left-footed opportunity, nobody around him, and he skied the absolute tar out of the ball. And I went, oh my word, he's just off. It's injury or otherwise. Is he ruined? Is he damaged? And then he had himself a hell of a season. It's been that continued funk. He just hasn't shaken it this year. And so I'm hoping that it's just a situation where more time, more effort, he'll figure it out. And if he's able to figure it out, we become even more dangerous. But Bodferson trying to find Mullen with the header, but it goes a little bit too far and skip forward to Whitworth as we wind it down. 87th minute. Let's bring up the man of the match poll here soon. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Is it the 3 goal scorers? Do we add on top of that Rathbone, Palmer, Cleworth? I don't think Cleworth. I mean, the back line hasn't been called on. Oh, it certainly has been for a much longer time. But I'm hoping that it's just a continuation of the funk, and once he sheds it, he'll be a new man. Yeah, there's that too. And that's why I'm hoping it's just like Wolverine. He's able to rebuild and regenerate, and it's just taking a little bit longer this time. Bodferson putting pressure on Krama. Can't get it. Sweeney sweeps it back. The vaunted center back line for Exeter City abused in this match. Barney with the split pass between the two. Rathbone goal from the service.
Sean, have you been watching? Has James been in the Lee spot center up front, or was that Rathbone?
Rathbone.
Because that's where James is now, and I thought it was Rathbone earlier. So
just a second. Mullen had the opportunity and laid it off for McLean. And is it going to go out for a corner? Going to go in for a throw-in. As I recall, and feel free to let me know, Matty James was where Cannon normally is. Rathbone was where Lee was. Dobson in his normal position. And maybe they've swapped it around here just to get a simple look. And Dave, I'm with you. There are many times where I'm wanting Mullen to leave it. That scissor kick he could have probably left for Bodferson being an example, but on that one, I wanted him to shoot, and instead he laid it off for McLean. Brunt goes up in the air. Foul goes against him. What are we saying? 3 minutes of added time. Burton went down. Brunt's down here. I don't think there's been too much. We'll see where it's at. I haven't seen a score update. I'm watching and hoping W&G's got one more score update in the Wickham-Lincoln game. So if you could muster that up on a Saturday afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you're watching, that'd be exceptional. 4 minutes. I was wrong. Palmer for man of the match domination. Rathbone, James. Do we have a fourth? I mean, we could put Barney in for every game. I kind of want him out just so we can change it up. Krama with it. Right side. Advance forward. McDonald, lots of space. He just ran it the whole distance and then just drills it right into Burton's breadbasket. Collected. Burton has a chat. Thomas, I don't want to be the negative guy here, but when and if I think would be the appropriate. It's starting to get to the point where, I mean, let's bring up the Wrexham Fought Mob stats while we're chatting about it, just so that I'm relatively informed. McLean quarter flag, back heel, well done. Mullen now with it, cross looking for Bodferson, can't find him, and it's cleared. Cleared and collected as our center backs just elect not to come forward, which is probably the right decision, even if it's not the entertaining decision. But for Marriott, 670 minutes. So Mullen on this one, he's going to be getting 630-ish, so getting close to playing the same number of games, or same number of minutes. He has played in more matches. This is his 14th match. He started 5 of those 14. He has 1 goal.
Yeah. By the way, it looks like he pulled a hammy.
Who's that, Matty? Oh, yeah. Well, that there's the answer to your midfield question for Tuesday.
Yeah. Not happy about that.
So now, does Seb take over for James McLean, who slides over, or does Revan just slide himself into the middle of the pitch?
No, you can't leave him. I think McLean moves middle. No, he's wide still.
Yeah, so Revan's over on the playing wing back, and McLean just moved into the middle, taking over Lee's spot. So we'll add a little bit of extra time. Oh, well, W&G pulled himself of the full-time updates. Northampton, Cambridge, 0-0. Crawley beating Rotherham. Jeepers.
Jeez.
Tuesday games are tough, and we're going to have a lot of them coming up here, but it is what it is. Giveaway. TOC with the whoopsie on the touch there, and it went right to, was that, I believe that went right to Niskanen, but not able to do anything. Kluworth trying to spin that one out of there and carry the ball with him, but he lost control of it, and it ends up staying there with Exeter City, who's looking for something, taking away the clean sheet. I don't want to jinx it, but I did. Whoopsie. Niskanen gets it backwards. There's the entrance into the box, headed away by Barney. Collected again. Stockport full-time with Burton. Shrewsbury gets a round of applause for the day as well. Played out, Bodferson with it. Leaves it to McLean, who goes searching for Mullen. Mullen on Krama. Mullen! He's hungry. Krama's like, you're up 3-0 in extra time. There's like 30 seconds left. Why are you? Because he needs one. Yeah, he's walking. Doesn't look bad. I mean, hammies are always weird, though, because you're not going to really know until you wake up the next day.
Yeah, it's going to tighten up the next day. So
yeah.
If it was a Saturday game, fine, but
well, no beer for you, W&G. We'll put it. That's it. 3 points. You can put them on the board. 3-0 the score, a win against Exeter City, and what was a rather beautiful, straightforward affair. No pressure. Exeter City, bless them, love this fan-owned clubs. And the effort was there, but they just don't have anything up front. And we know that from the last game they watched. And it could, as Brendan said, it could just be a matter of form. Don't look now, but Stockport is in third. Yeah, it's. But we've got a game in hand over them. The team to watch is still Birmingham. But we'll go through those here in a second. I wanted to get. Thank you, John. But I wanted to get the man of the match vote out, and I didn't get any other nominees, so maybe I'll just go with the 3. So I'll end this poll, and I will, as most people say, that should have been a goal. Really, it should have probably been 4-1. But we'll take it. 3-0. Clean sheet's probably better. Start a poll for man of the match. And we're going to go with Palmer, Rathbone, and James. Those are our options, I think. And Rathbone. Start the poll. Have your say on that one. Thank you, everybody. If you are going to sign off, I got about 10 or 15 minutes here to sit and chat and go through things. Maybe even 30. We'll see how it goes. But appreciate you guys signing up again. Hit the like button if you haven't when you left. If you haven't joined and you've been eavesdropping, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're over on X or you're on Twitch and you're watching there, come over to YouTube, youtube.com/TheRedHorde, and hit the subscribe button and let us know that you're here taking part. The community continues to grow, and I'm having a lot of fun continuing to chat with you guys as we soak in these ones. Tomorrow, yes, the ladies, TNS. I got it wrong. They had their cup game last match, and I thought it was TNS. It's a big one. Looking to climb the ladder and get back into the top 4. All 3 goals off a header, some relevant Exeter Achilles perhaps. And I wouldn't have expected that. If you would have said at the game, you're not going to score any goals with your feet, I would have been like, yeah, that's not a good sign against an Exeter City side that typically solid in the back line and good at set pieces. So yes, Deandra and Brendan and maybe me if I can get my I've got a full day of boxes. If I move that camera into the corner, there's still so much to do. The whole basement just got finished. But in any event, let's bring up the stats here. Is FOTMob working? It is working.
Yeah. Keeps going in and out, yeah.
And so if you've got the stats up, here we go. Exeter City able to maintain possession and earn that 54%, 46%. They did get 3 shots on target, all in the second half, nothing in the first. So the shots settled down a little bit. 4 shots on target to 3. 4 big chances to 0. We missed 1. The passes, 348, that's above our season average. 411, that's above their season average. They certainly had their opportunities, but that's 68% on aerial duels is dominant. Yeah, and I wouldn't have anticipated that stat at the start of the year or start of the game. So well done. Maybe I need to sleep in more often, Brendan, if this is what ends up happening. Or more importantly, maybe the team just needs to train less during the week with a performance like that. I'm sure that'll go over well. Total shots, 13-8. Shots off target, 3-1. We win in every stat. Where did we not win? They had more shots outside the box. They did have more passes, and that's the byproduct of the increased possession. But really, on every stat that mattered, and they got the Norwegian fans. The Norwegian fans that they're interviewing on iFollow saying that every game they've come to, 3 games they've come to, 3 wins, all clean sheets. So they're going to be looking for a GoFundMe, I'm sure, to bring in those Norwegian fans. They could do the same with Jason, who I haven't seen today, but I think they've scored a total of 7 goals in the 2 games he attended. So not much is way in the stats. Let's jump into the table. League 1 table. The Huddersfield game still ongoing. Is there still 2-1 up in their game against Charlton?
Garbage today.
FOTMob is garbage today. Tech issues everywhere, and the only tech issue here was me. Great match, interesting starting 11 that really worked, adding the 3 goals. And Jason is here. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to know you were lurking in the background. But it did really work. No issues. 3 shots on target, but had to grab Wrexham's keeper to get them. Absolutely. Insert the take my money gif. FOTMob has been wonky all day. So the stats, Wickham still the climb continues for them. And who are these guys? Didn't expect it based on the signings that they had at the start of the year. Didn't expect them to be a poor team. I thought that they were going to be mid-table. They're at home to Mansfield on Tuesday. They've got Exeter City away on December 3rd, so hopefully Exeter City can find out what's troubling them. Reading, Shrewsbury, Bolton, Stevenage, Charlton, and then they restart the season. So they've dealt with the heavy hitters largely. I mean, Charlton will be a tough one. Exeter City could be. Well, that's January 1st. That's the restart. So interesting. They've got, I guess, Mansfield, probably the toughest one that they're going to get. Where things are at, and I know everybody's going to look at Stockport climbing the table, but we've got a game in hand and a point in hand, and so I'm not so concerned about that. The one that I'm looking at is Birmingham. As to Stockport's matches that are upcoming, they had a bit of a powder puff today with Burton. I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the butt. But they play FA Cup on Saturday, and then on Wednesday next week, they've got Birmingham and Stockport. So they're into the throes. That means their league match, they must have postponed that one. But the points will be taken from somebody in that match next week. So that's helpful for us as we look forward to that game on December 4th. Let me go and see who we've got again on.
Yep, Barnsley too.
On the 4th, third, fourth. On the 3rd, we've got Barnsley on the Tuesday. They've got them on the 4th. So Lincoln City, they don't have a game on the Tuesday. Then the following Tuesday, because we're not playing in the FA Cup, we go a week of Tuesdays. Well, maybe we watch that Birmingham Stockport game.
Oh, by the way, we got Crew, right? We didn't talk about that.
Oh, Crew in the FA Cup or the FA Trophy. But did we schedule when that one's going to be played? I don't see it up yet. I don't know. We'll figure that one out off the record. Going back to the table then. What else happened today? Birmingham, obviously, they had their loss. Huddersfield, that game's wrapped up. They were able to eke out their win against Charlton. So they're going to move up and hold on to their 6th place position for Charlton. That kicks them down to 14th as they're starting to lose touch with things. Mansfield still with 2 games in hand over a lot of players and only 2 points back. So they've got that opportunity, if they're able to take care of business, to climb on up into that middle of the playoff pack. But who do they have coming up? Wickham and Bolton and Huddersfield and Charlton. So they're into the throes of a bit of a tough run for them, but it'll be interesting to see how those 2 games in hand end up playing out. For Barnsley, sort of a bit of a surprise there with Wigan holding them at 26 points. And that does create a little bit of a divide between now what you've got is sort of that top 4. Maybe you can argue that Huddersfield, but even with their game in hand, if they win it, they're up to 29 points. So you've got, it's still tight. I don't care how you look at it. 26 points. There's 5 teams on it, sitting from 5th to 9th with a variety of games in play. Bolton still eking around and trying to find a way in as they took care of Blackpool today. And Reading still eking around with their win against Posh. Posh, I think they're done. I mean, they're sitting at 21 points and sitting in 12th. 16 games played, though. I don't know. Is Peterborough going to be able to find it? Them and or Charlton? Those are the 2 teams that I see outside of the top 11.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, we're not even – we're another, 6, 7 games at least before you're getting really close to the mid-part of the season. Yeah. All you have to do is be able to get into playoffs, right? Which I think eventually there's going to be a gap opened up between, the top 4 or 5 teams and then the last wild cards, last playoff spot. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that could still get in there once they straighten themselves out in the January break.
Yeah, for Rotherham, they've gone 5 games now where they've only taken 4 points, and they had a loss to Crawley Town, granted on the road, but that's a Crawley Town that's only won 4 games this year and was on a run where they hadn't won in 4 in a row, so not in good form, and you can't do that. You can't do that if you're Rotherham and you're looking to rescue your season. And I don't say rescue; they're not in jeopardy of going down into the relegation zone. Cambridge United still able to start eking out points. They got a tie with Northampton, so they've, it's Burton in last place, Shrewsbury second last, Cambridge, and then you've got to jump up to Leighton, Crawley, Blackpool, Rotherham, Wigan, Northampton that are all sniffing around in for those spots. The bottom 4 go down, so there's going to be a couple. It's still messy there and nervy for a bunch of players. But all told, not the best results around us. Stockport winning, Huddersfield winning, but the good news is Birmingham 3 games in a row where they've dropped points. This time with the full loss. Is that 3 games in a row or is it 4 games in a row?
I can tell you, I didn't think this was necessarily a banana peel game, and especially at home, and not being overly impressed with Exeter, especially after watching that Lincoln game.
Yeah.
But I was worried that all the weather would make the pitch so sloppy that we couldn't get any traction. We'd have a hard time scoring, and then they'd get a flukish goal on some sort of set play or someone falling or whatever, and lose 1-0 to a team that we should beat 3-0, which we did. So the pitch was in good enough shape that allowed them to play pretty well. And the better team won this game. And I think we've talked about this. It's the Lincoln at home game that's important to win. If you lost Barnsley on the road, wouldn't be the worst thing, right? And then you go on a roll on all those home games that beatable teams. I'm hoping for, not to lose to Barnsley, but we got to just focus on that Lincoln game Tuesday, take care of business there, and stay strong throughout the rest of December.
Yeah, and it's an interesting breakdown with the schedule now, because I haven't seen when we're playing the crew match. Have you?
No, not sure.
It's an FA Cup Saturday coming up, and so we're obviously, with us being out of it, we're going to go Tuesday to Tuesday. So we don't have a Saturday game now until December 7th. I guess that we've got Lincoln City at home, we've got Barnsley at home, and then we go lighter for the remainder of the season with Burton on the road, Cambridge United at home, Bristol Rovers away, Blackpool at home, Wigan at home, and then we turn the calendar over January 1st, and we turn the season over as we play with Barnsley for the second time. So we've talked about the difficult run of 4 games, right? Mansfield, Charlton, Mansfield, Stockport, Exeter City, Lincoln City, Barnsley. We've got a run of tough games, and then we get into the Burton, Cambridge, Bristol, Blackpool, which you'd like to think, and potentially Wigan as well, that we can run out the rest of the season hopefully relatively easy through December. We've always looked at December as a bit of a reprieve. Just got to hold on. That Lincoln City game, you win that one, you take points against Barnsley, and you're going into December looking really, really, really positive in a build-up going forward. I was nervous about this game. I was really nervous about this game, not just because it was Exeter City and, as you said, a game that they could take a 1-0 out of, but I was nervous because if we lost this, there would start to be those voices in the back start to get a little bit louder. And that's not just the fans being critical. That's also in the players' minds as well, as you start to wonder exactly, is this who we are? What do we do to get out of this funk? And it starts to weigh on you, and you've seen teams fall off cliffs when they start getting failing to get results. So
Woody got you an answer there about the crew game on December 10th. Thanks, Woody.
So December 10th. So that's going to be, guess what, another Tuesday game. So get comfortable for the Tuesday run here, because we're going 3 consecutive Tuesdays in a row, and then we'll get one off during my birthday week, and then we're back at it. So it's going to be a long season of us we're already staring at the table, and it's already tight, and we're trying to find out exactly where we sit, and we're already 16 games into the season, still with lots of questions and not a lot of answers. Tomorrow you guys are here, for those of you guys that are watching, Brendan and Deandra doing the women's match. I'd like to be able to commit to one. I said I'd try last weekend, couldn't do it. I'd like to do it this weekend. I don't know. Still never ending with work and kids' activities and trying to get this house unpacked and finish the bloody renovations, which we're hoping they're done on Tuesday, but then we've got to pull the windows out of this place and put those back in. So it's a battle. It's an ongoing battle, and I thank you, Brendan, for rescuing it and waking up. For those that have been here, let's take a look at the poll. Have a look at this. Palmer getting the nod, 55% of the votes. I'll give it a chance for anybody else to get in the last second vote, and then we'll wrap this one up and call it. End the poll. Why won't you let me end the poll? There it is. Have to do that so I can bring it up and see it later. Final thoughts on that one, Brendan? I didn't ask you that question as a general overview.
Yeah, a lot of people playing really hard, especially Palmer the whole time. Great to see. Happy that James was in there. This was one of the first times in a very, very long time that I saw them being dynamic offensively and making progress on something other than Barney or a set piece. You know, like we were moving it well, passing it well through the middle, a lot more guys forward, which was great. Lee seemed a little more active, which was nice. I've been beating him up about that, and deservedly so. And he was more engaged in the game. And today, they're going to have to make some changes for Tuesday, though. They can't go with this exact same lineup, I'm guessing. But yeah, I mean, I hope they use this as momentum. I think 3-0 gets the team feeling good, and the quick turnaround, I think you can ride the wave. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So it's all tentatively good news. We'll hold out and see how Tuesday goes. Although, as you said, you know, I mean, it's the home match you want, and you want to be able to continue the record. We haven't lost at home this year. We've just had the one draw for in league matches, so we're continue the build. I guess is the message. For us and the channel, I don't know if I'll be able to get to a Who Are You by Tuesday. But I'll see if I can sneak that in with a late night tonight, potentially. The joy is we just saw Lincoln City a little while ago, so we'll know a little bit more of the details. And I had to reset everything up in the new place, and so it's all there and it's operable, so we can get going with that. The women are on Tuesday, on Sunday. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll try to stay tuned. We'll see if we can do the I guess there's definitely cup matches. We'll see if we can pick up a game on Saturday. I'm going to feel like I'm going to miss out if I wake up on a Saturday and I'm not doing a game. But we'll figure out what's going around and try to pick something up. Something to consider and talk about is other things that we can do for the channel and for the group and for the family. So if you have thoughts on other videos that you'd like to see, I've got one that I'm continuing to work on in the background regarding some statistical analytics type, looking at those sorts of things. Potentially better use. Brendan was putting all the effort building the Discord channel, and we haven't really promoted that thing. And maybe it'd be nice to have that as a community building exercise for those that, if you're interested in doing it. So let me know your thoughts in the chat or send us a message if you'd like to see that, and we can continue to push that as I've kind of let that one.
Yeah, by the way, W&G sent stuff through Discord today, and that I showed a bunch of the pictures from Exeter that he sent in. So yeah, because then we used it this morning.
And that's the nice thing about it is it does give an opportunity for people who are there to go to one source to send their pictures, to do their things, their videos, their clips. But yes, Woody, very impressive, lively performance today, more creative. Do a financial video.
Yeah. What's the money going to? Break down the new owners or something.
The new owners and the $11 million that came in. I know that Liam did a video on that, and that I believe he had the assessment right. There was somebody who tweeted and was like, the more debt that came in potentially, and I was like, no, that's not it. I think that's the value of the shares.
Yeah. Why don't you look at the numbers for what you think that we have for a cushion for the January window, and
well, we're going to have to go into the minus. That's the reality. I mean, yeah. Are you want? It's really tough for me to expect and appreciate and understand what anticipated revenues are, right?
Yeah. Well, what about the championship? Like, what are the numbers in the championship right now? What's Wrexham's budget?
I can look at that. Look at the budgets of the teams around in the championship. The average £11 million loss per season, and where at least that's a statement from an owner where that's sourced from what we need to. And a live in-person watch party. So so you would like to have. I know that this would be a really tough one. I think what you're suggesting, Dave, is somebody goes to the race course and they do the watch along while live.
What if we went? Yeah, can we get a box at the stadium? You know,
I'd love to do it. I'm going back to the crackdown that they had on the people doing vlogging, and I think the idea of a live in-person watch party, even if you were just doing backwards to you the whole time, you would get slapped on the wrist by a steward pretty quick. But you could always try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you want the Allen cash infusion. I can look into that. I can look into the championship stuff. I'll put that on the list as topics. I know the academy is one that I've done way too much research on, and this sort of come to this dragon that's impossible to slay. a Vancouver. Oh, an in-person party. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So find a game, find a pub.
David, where were you? Why weren't you there this summer? We had 300 plus at the Pint.
Yeah, it wasn't an in-person watch party. I mean, it could be fun if you could set it up to go and sit in a pub and have a couple of wobblies. I'm thinking an FA Cup. Well, we don't have an FA Cup, but an FA Cup night match would have been perfect. But we'll look around to see if we can find a later start on a Friday. They've changed a bunch of games around or something like that. Man, I'm looking at the Tuesday break. It's the December break. We'll look into it. It'd be a lot of fun. I know that there's a number of people who I met during the Vancouver run who might be willing to show up. Maybe we contact the Welsh Hall and we go back to them and we say, hey, if we were to show up on an afternoon, rent the hall out, sit there and have a couple of wobblies in the basement, that could be fun. We'll figure that out. That's a good excuse.
Yeah. Can't fault you for that one.
Valid. All right. And it's shocking, right, Marcus? Absolutely shocking. Because what they did is they took out away, not took out. Liam's still doing his videos and he's still doing his thing and building. But you're looking to find, as the Charlton Athletic manager said in that Where Has the Money Gone blog podcast from a couple of weeks ago, Wrexham's challenge is turning followership into fans. And if we can weaponize that and do that, which I like to think that people like me, Rob Ryan Red, Eat More Chips, the local pundit, all those groups, the Aussies, I hate to leave anybody out, me, my wife in Wrexham, Liam Roberts, are gateways to the club, right? People find it through the broadcast. They get a little bit of information from the internet. They find us on YouTube. They get a little bit of details. They do it independently and of themselves. And vlogs are a source of that. Vlogging for me was a massive source and connection to embracing the club, because at that time too, streaming wasn't available. So the only way I could see the atmosphere and feel it outside of the watching the documentary was by watching the vlogs, and then they were gone. Fortunately, time wise, the streaming was in place at that point.
But how awesome would it be, Sean, if they gave streamers like us that do watch-alongs press passes to sit, a couple of seats down from Mark, and get to do our stream with the cameras, focused only on us, right?
On us. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I agree with you that it would be an amazing thing for them. I understand that the desire to control the content, and where that bright line is that goes too far. And I guess what that is recording in stadium is a step too far. But I'm assuming you're talking Mansfield. Need to know why the last minute goal was disallowed. You were at the other end of the pitch. Because I wasn't watching the Mansfield one. I don't know exactly what happened. I know just from the stats and what Kim pointed out in the match, if you're talking Mansfield, that you guys had all of the shots at one point in time. It was 14 shots to like 1 or 2, and you were behind. So I don't know exactly what happens.
So what he's pointing out, what I thought as well, that Liam hates Fleur. I think it was I got the impression it was Fleur that was the one that killed all that, and they might be softer on that right now.
Well, and somebody go and test it. Like, if I'm,
why not just straight up ask them? Like, what? Like, we're not trying to pull something on you. We're trying to promote the brand along with you. Like, help us out.
I'm with you. I got no complaints there. So let's I'm going to look into seeing what we can do as far as I am a member at the Welsh Society here in Vancouver, and so maybe I can pay to book the hall, and we can arrange to have a get together and set everything up. I don't know how the Wi-Fi would be. Brendan would have to be on standby, because if the Wi-Fi was horrible, you'd have to pick it up. We'd probably have to connect through a laptop, but it can be done. It can be done. we'll set up an extra camera that'll just have a wide shot as we watch the whole thing. And they've got a projector there. They didn't use it when we were there because too many people would have blocked off the projector, but we could potentially cast.
Is your whole setup? My whole setup's on a laptop, so I can travel to a spot and do the show.
I've got it on the laptop, and it's easier for me because I'm not doing the production anymore, right?
Yeah.
I just am connecting through VDO, so it's easier to do it. So, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Good suggestion, good advice. If you have any other tips and things that you want to see with the financial videos I've heard, both on the championship side, potential expectations, as well as on the new ownership side, send them my way. The live watch along, which is actually something that we could probably pull off. It'd be convenient for me to do it here in Port Moody. There's a nice little pub, St. James Pub, just around the corner. Would be fun to do as well. I'll look into that. We'll figure it out. Get Jason and Nick and Dave and myself and whoever else is in the area to all sit down and force us into a couple of wobbly pops on a day where we take in the game together. Could be fun. That's it, I think, for us. It'll be a good, until Tuesday, I guess. And so tomorrow, the women, Tuesday, the men are back at it. And then we've got to figure out what we're going to do the following Saturday, which I think is just an FA Cup match, FA Cup day. I don't think there's any League One matches, but we'll look into it and see if we can pick anything up. What a day. Brilliant goals all over the place. That Palmer Rathbone, or Palmer Barnett one, is that the best goal of the day? I think it probably has to be. Rathbone, the most shocking, maybe. Just given that he overcame Crama on his back pocket. But that Palmer goal, I think that's the second best one of the year. I think that's the second best goal.
It was almost too clean. It looked too easy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's what takes away from it. No one dove. No one did it. It's just like running full bore, and the pass was so perfect. It was just
Hollywood movie-esque, the ball over to the wing, the ball brilliantly and deliciously floating through the air right to the one player who's splitting the two center backs with the artistic header and the dive of the keeper hits the back.
Barney slicing that in right on point at full speed again. He's just amazing. So
yeah.
We got to wrap this up. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and Sean and I will definitely see you on Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. Have a good one, guys. See ya.